On a quick question, are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Simon Says Bets, where we actually talk about sports and gambling. I'm John.
not going to leave gold like that on the floor.
I love it. John Simon here. Everyone else introduce themselves.
Jerry the producer.
Jerry the producer.
Josh comes in guns blazing, talking shit about the producer shirt. Great way to get invitation back next week.
Joshy Boy and
is
Josh
that your entire nickname right there?
Talking shit.
Yeah, you can't be guns blazes and I'm Bukaki. That's too similar. Just firing everywhere.
I think it's catchy. I think it sells.
Oh God.
Josh.
What?
How did you not?
Because I tried to come up with one, and I was like, how do I do something without jizzing?
We have Josh and we have Bukaki Josh.
Oh my God, that is awesome! I just finally read your T-shirt.
I wore it last time.
Last time you was here. Did you never see
This is
that?
my uniform.
No, I just saw the top line. I didn't bother to follow
But
behind.
it's been 2 weeks, and in the theme of seeing Pokemon, I've evolved into Bukaki Christ.
Bukaki Christ.
So I think we should all get ones and then put numbers and our last names on them.
I agree.
Like we have our jerseys.
So how was that
I
game
gotta get
last night,
someone to put
guys?
Bukaki on the back of my jersey. The words, not the actual act.
Well, before we get into everybody else, John and I had a discussion last week of which apparently will not see the light of day.
Oh no, it will.
Okay, but
uncut, we're gonna start releasing like random material. But
please lift the part where I said if Kawhi defends Giannis from the beginning of the game,
series?
It could be a series because it's like you just gotta hope that the rest of your guys can defend the other guy.
Well,
I don't think again. There's the exhaustion point. There's his ability to score the other, which he's shown. But again, as was it Barkley or somebody? It's not a playoff series until somebody wins on somebody else's home.
Yeah, Barkley couldn't be more wrong about anything ever. I think he's missed everything he is projected on this year's
Skip
playoffs.
Bayless is worse.
Charles Barkley also thinks Zion Willis is not going to be a good pro.
Barkley's predicting. I have no faith in that, but it is true. It's like it's not a playoff series until somebody wins on his home court.
Have you ever actually listened to Charles Barkley talk about college basketball? He's fucking terrible. So.
But I mean, it's like, oh God, it's like Milwaukee's up 2-0. They're home. They should be. Oh God, Toronto, it's 2-2. Well, they were at home.
They're home, and Toronto has one of the best home court advantages in the entire fucking league.
Oh yeah.
So it was a series, and I enjoyed that, but I still think I think the Bucks close it out at home. So.
You know what the funny thing is? I even posted last night on Twitter. I was like, I was set up for failure over here.
Go ahead.
We're gonna get this down. I even posted, the Bucks wasn't my play last night, but I posted, go Toronto though. That's the smart move. There was such a big point, and I know that's the correlation. Everyone goes into last night thinking the Bucks are going to win, and when the point spread in the playoffs is so minimal, it's using who they think is going to win the game. Because when we're talking 1 or 2 points, they're picking who's going to win the game, and it was doing crazy things. I was like, Toronto's going to win this damn game.
What was the line to that game?
It started off Bucks -1. It got up to -3. And there was buyback, and at that point, I was like, the Raptors are going to win this game tonight. Not ATS, not against the spread, not betting wise, but when you see those correlations of just the numbers going from like, okay, well then last game in Toronto the Bucks were plus 2.5, and you do a 6-point swing.
No, there was a 6-point swing, and then
Raptors are winning the game.
And then Raptors required 2 OTs to beat them, and then Giannis only
52
scored
minutes from Kawhi.
And I know also
like 12 or something like that.
Giannis only scored 12 points, and you're thinking to yourself, "There's no way they're going to hold him to 12 points again."
8
and
turnovers,
the
and
Bucks
fouled out.
The Bucks came in there, and they somehow still managed to take it to 2 OTs without Giannis even doing anything. You're thinking, okay, that's not going to happen again. And
by the way,
yesterday was a blowout.
And that sixth foul, the charge that Giannis fouled out on, it's like that's one of those. Really,
really, foul,
really.
And Bledsoe, man, what is going on? Talk about someone who's big time until it comes to the moment, and I mean, then he's just gone.
Well, there's two times.
Kyle Lowry actually showing up now for a playoff series.
There's 2 things concerning Bledsoe. It's like 1, he doesn't show up consistently. 2, Terry Rozier scares the shit out of him.
Didn't Bledsoe just get named All NBA First Team Defense?
Yeah, that happens before the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Really?
All those awards.
But I mean, of those guys on that team, he's the guy.
Giannis is there too.
But Brogdon is there.
We're gonna pull it up.
He missed like the last 15 games though.
Oh man, that's all NBA first team defense is one of the funniest things though, because there was a year where Dikembe was the defensive player of the year and he wasn't first team all defense. Which is the dumbest thing. It's like you vote for your defense, or you just like you vote for your first team all defense, and whoever gets the most votes, there you go. That's your. But it's 2 different organizations. I found out later it was 2 different organizations, but it's still how's that so far different between them? I mean, I know that. Wow, really?
Okay, we have
that is amusing
for the 2018-19 all defensive team, we have Rudy Gobert, Paul George,
Obviously, yeah.
Giannis, Smart, and Bledsoe.
Yep.
Bledsoe made that team.
And
I
Giannis.
can't believe
Yeah,
that.
Wow.
Drew Holiday was second team guard, and the other guard was who was it? I forgot.
So Marcus Smart made first team
First team is
as,
Smart.
as a,
Smart's
as
a
a
great
backup player, as a non-starter.
But he's a great defender.
Oh no, I know this, but usually they don't give that credit to the non-starters.
Second
Kind of
team,
like Lou Williams, though. They're not.
second team's loaded too. Klay Thompson, Drew Holiday, Kawhi Leonard, Draymond Green, Joel Embiid.
And now Drew is the Pelicans
guy. Yeah.
Okay, so
The one that locked down Lillard last year when they got swept.
I want to get to our what did the Pels do conversation at some point, but we're talking.
And
about
also, I want to get to that fucking pyramid that Shaq posted on
pyramid's
Instagram.
gonna
finally.
the pyramid's gonna get delayed because we're gonna get caught up in the draft.
I want to talk about that fucking
I'm
pyramid.
so
bad.
excited about a couple
That
of these autographs.
pyramid is so trash. Well, we do.
Well, so we're 2-2. We're heading back to Milwaukee tomorrow night. So, I mean, everybody expect Milwaukee to bounce back and then go 3-2.
Yes,
They're opened up as 7-point favorites in Milwaukee.
100%.
7?
Yeah, I think they.
I know, right?
Now
I think they win by 10.
No,
I think
no.
that it will, but it's just that's just a big
It's a
line.
big spread. It's a
Yeah.
very big spread.
I think Toronto covers. So we'll see.
That's what they want you to think.
Toronto's bench can't play on the road.
And
This
Lowry
is true.
Lowry
Well,
really
Fleet
isn't
finally
this
came
good.
alive.
Lowry's not
At
going
home.
to show up again. He was hitting 3-pointers last night from
He had-
from out of nowhere. Where the fuck that come from? Like,
was it game 1 where he had the 30 and they lost?
33.
Oh,
and he hit that like a 30-point, that 30-foot 3-pointer at the end of the fourth quarter. And you're like, where did Lowry start shooting threes like this and making them? Like what?
I mean,
The regular season.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
true.
Gasol had his best playoff shooting night as well.
And
He
Gasol had a
30.
great game.
Well, I mean, and again, we disagree because I think that's a good trade for the long term for Toronto, but he hasn't scored the way that he's needed to. When he's been
Lowry
open.
outscored Leonard last night. Lowry had.
Kawhi only had 19, but it was an
25.
efficient 19.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
very,
oh no, absolutely.
Very efficient. He's hitting three. He hit that last three. It was like a dagger to end the game. So
Also, making Giannis struggle. That's the biggest part.
yeah, exactly. But the thing is, can he do that? Can he sustain playing both defensively and offensively on both sides of the court
at
for an
home,
entire series?
At home, apparently he can because the rest of Toronto can show up. The problem is they have to do that on the road, and that's where
the Bucks have a great.
and that's where his exhaustion level about him is going to come in because at Game 7 he's going to have
He's
to
going
do
to
both.
have. Yeah, he
Have
has to do
both.
both, and I think that can't last. He can't do that all series. So we'll see what happens.
It's going to be weird if Milwaukee wins because that starting five right now is who is it right now? It's Bledsoe, it's
Middleton,
Giannis, Mirotic, and Brook
Lopez.
That big lineup won't be able to play next series.
I think, but no, this is one of the things that when somebody was asking about that is one of the things that Golden State has issues is rebounding, and not that these guys are individually better rebounders than Milwaukee,
Brook
but
Lopez may be
they're
the
taller.
worst. Brook Lopez may be the worst rebounding center of all time.
But
Also, Curry just got 11 rebounds. last game.
but where he plays on offense, it brings their big guy outside, and that kind of benefits them with the rest of the things. The thing that helps Milwaukee,
Mirotic too.
Oh, Mirotic also, but is that Durant will have to play one of them, which is fine, but that keeps him further away from helping should anybody drive because they're not going to put Durant on Giannis. It'll be a combination of Iguodala, Draymond Green, and Thompson, just depending on what's going on. But the thing is that leaves Bledsoe, Middleton, or when Brogdon comes in, or Connaughton, or all those guys where Curry has to defend him when he's on the court. And
you can't hide Curry against the Bucks.
Well, then the thing is, the Bucks, they're smart enough. Is like whenever what Portland was trying to do was whenever Curry was defending somebody, either McCullough or the other guy that came off of the bench, is that they try and go at him. And Milwaukee can do that. Those guys can do enough points. And even with Brogdon, he doesn't even have to score, just kind of body up on him and just lean into him to force him to wear him down on that. And if Durant wants to be upset about them being so successful without him or can't come back or whatever, or Iguodala isn't as healthy, then that helps them.
He also stood out to me the
It'll
most.
be interesting about the taller lineup, though.
I think they're a better team without Durant, so we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, they won 73 wins and a title without him, so I mean, it's
They lost the title that year.
Yeah,
I hate
well, I know.
The year
but,
they
I
won
mean,
73, they lost the
and
title.
not together.
Oh,
and
the year before wait,
They won a title without him the year before, but then
which
again,
is the biggest crock. It's the most tainted title I've ever seen. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love
were out, and LeBron was a game.
Deladova playing like
LeBron was
Al Iverson in his prime.
LeBron was 3 minutes away from getting tired from actually winning that series.
LeBron was 3 minutes away from dragging that lousy ass team to a 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They would have won one of those.
And
three
you
games.
watched LeBron literally lose his legs during that last 3 minutes of that game 5, was it, or game
Game
4?
four.
Game 4. You literally saw him lose his legs. You're like, oh, this is over.
And that was the
Fuck.
first game where they started Iguodala in the next game, and then that
Yeah,
was
and Iguodala ended up winning the MVP of that series, and that was that.
Well, one thing on Jerry's point about on the road and the role players of Toronto traveling, one thing I think that's going to affect most is free throws. That's the one thing that stood out. I know everyone saw the Giannis air ball last night, which
I saw that. That was
mental.
awful.
I didn't see it, but I heard it as the crowd jumped in.
That was bad. But, I mean, 65% Milwaukee, you're not going to win when you shoot 65% from the charity strike on the line, and Toronto was 88. So, I mean, that right there.
Yeah, Lowry went 10 for 10. He went 10 for 10 for free throws.
No, I mean, as a team, Toronto was 24-27 as a team.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, Lowry hit 10 free throws and went perfect.
Well, no, he's a pretty good free throw
He's a pretty good free throw shooter. I'm just saying
the rest of the team is not.
Not quite so much, but we'll see what happens. I mean, as of right now, I take Toronto on that line. So, at +7?
Yeah.
I take Toronto on that.
I don't know. I mean, if you're Toronto and you know,
I think the Bucks win, but I would take Toronto.
No,
on
I'm
that
saying
line.
if you're Toronto, you know that the only way you're going to win is you win Game 6 and you Game 7. Is that because if you go all out on Game 5 and lose it, then you're done. So it's like they might play that first half and see what happens, and then the Kawhi just might rest more.
Yeah,
knowing what he has to do in the future.
Right. No, I definitely agree with that, and I think too.
I don't think we get to a Game 7.
I don't either.
You think Bucks?
Yeah, I think Bucks win the next 2 games, and it's over. And then the finals start next Thursday, no matter what. But I think that happens. So
I hope so. Less time for Kevin
Durant
Durant to rest.
Losers. We have 4 or 5 days without. Well, we have basketball tomorrow, but NHL ended last night. Terrible performance. I think that doesn't start for.
God.
I think we got like 5 or 6 days before the Cup starts.
The Blues go out there and just crush the Sharks like that. Huh?
The Blues.
No, it's not over.
It's not over yet. No, but we're getting Blues Bruins in the finals, and I think the Bruins.
Sound sexy.
No.
Like it doesn't even roll
It
off.
does.
It sounds like sexual frustration.
Well, you have the second hottest team in NHL.
That's like you get on a porn site and it says buffering, and like you got like a little bit of a window of time, and it's like okay, like it's
the
like
Blues
that.
have been one of the hottest teams in the second half, but the Bruins have been hot. Other than the Lightning, the hottest team in the NHL all year. So who's going to win that?
I heard a stat earlier is that teams off of longer rest are 0-6. Wait. Yes, the teams with a longer rest are 0-6 in these years' playoffs.
That makes sense in hockey.
That makes
The way the
perfect sense in
works.
hockey.
I think with the Bruins, though, with the veteran team, may they come out rusty game 1, sure.
They've won a cup within the last 10 years.
I would honestly take Bruins at 5.
I think Bruins in 5. I don't want to say it. I hope the Blues win because
but
fuck the
Bennington's
Bruins and
special,
fuck Boston.
Man. Bennington is special in net back there, man. He is. I think the Sharks came out flat last night, and the injuries, Carlson and them boys being out. I mean, that's.
I mean, what was the Carolina like? The aggregate for the Carolina was like 22 to like 3 or 4 or something.
Yeah,
I mean, they obliterated
They kicked
the
the
Hurricanes.
dog shit out of the Canes. So.
Oh yeah, and I think it's going to be the same with the Blues.
But then again, the Canes weren't really even supposed to really be there from the start. They got hot, but they got they ran into a hotter, just as hot team that had been hot all year. It was a better team.
Yeah.
And no one's expecting the Canes to do what they did this year, anyways. So it's good to build on, but we'll see what happens. But I think the Bruins win. I'm rooting for the Blues, but
I do as well.
Yeah,
Blues are special. I mean, it's a team like this, they're not going to be, in my opinion, they're going to fall off next year. So it's like, okay, they weren't like the Sharks. They weren't like Columbus. They didn't go all out at the trade deadline. They just caught fire. They're the Cinderella team, just like we were talking about with Carolina, being the it team, Now, I would say with the Blues, I like the defense and I like Bennington. I think Bennington, especially as young as he is definitely a top-tier goalie. I mean, after these playoffs games, when we say that's where you earn your stripes, and I don't know how anyone can't say he's not up there right now.
Yeah, you're right. But I was actually watching that game. I was watching the Toronto game, and I was watching that hockey game side by side. I'm like, well, these are awful games.
When it got 2-1, I really thought there was some hope.
There was a shot, and then they just
3-1,
completely fell apart. It ended up being what? The score was 5-1, 5-2?
The last 2 games, Bennington has held the Sharks to 1 goal. They've outscored them 10-1. That's fucking
It was
insane.
crazy.
That's
I
insane.
think
I mean-
was it the closeout game was like 5-0 or something?
It was 5-1 last night.
5-1 last night, and before that, yeah.
Oh, that game on Sunday sucked. I was on the Sharks, and that.
I was on the Sharks, too. I thought the Sharks were going to win the series because I was hoping, but, whatever.
Yeah, and I think Sharks Bruins was going to be the marquee matchup.
People
that
got
everyone's
excited
looking
for that.
People would have wanted to watch that based on
Oh.
the markets and everything alone.
Like,
So
even as a huge hockey fan, of course I'm going to watch the Blues Bruins, but am I going to be glued to my TV, chicken wings, tequila ready, 8 o'clock for puck drop every game? No, I'm going to watch it, of course, but the level of excitement there, from the casual fan is, unless you live in St. Louis or live in Boston.
well, given the narrative that we could possibly get with the NBA Finals, I mean, do you want to see Kawhi Leonard?
It doesn't matter because the NBA is not particularly happy with
He said
Toronto or
stop.
Milwaukee. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Will you repeat that?
Well, you were going in. And it's like, would people rather see Giannis or Kawhi?
No. I was saying, do you want to see Kawhi try and get his vengeance on a Warriors team that
That's
cheated
the
him?
only storyline that
Exactly.
exists.
That's the only storyline that exists between any of that is
for
that.
for what the NBA wants.
I think it doesn't matter. The Warriors are the storyline. What's Durant going to do and everything like
Yes.
that?
No,
Well,
but-
off season. I think the off season is a big storyline now.
Oh no! It's the
It's been the
NBA
story all year.
No one
the
cares about what's
since-
going to happen with the
since
Warriors.
Durant
Golden
signed.
State made it so boring that the offseason is more exciting. every
Josh
year.
is completely correct. Since
100%.
Since Durant signed with Golden State,
The
regular season basketball is completely irrelevant, and off season where everybody's going is even once they sign, it already starts the clock for the free agents for next year. So basically, August 1st is like who's a free agent July 1st.
We've been talking about this free agency class for like over 2 years.
yeah.
Well, you got Clay and Anthony being possibly traded and Davis being traded. I mean, it'd be
Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving. It's a huge one.
Butler,
Jimmy
Tobias
Butler,
Harris,
Tobias
Kawhi
Harris.
Leonard. There's a
Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker.
I hope he's gone.
Anthony Davis is a free agent. Well, okay, so
Well, Anthony Davis is not a free. I mean, he
Anthony
wants to be
Davis
traded.
wants to be traded. So
and he's not
Anthony
going to
Davis-
stay for Zion.
But here's okay. So this is the first thing
There you
that
go.
I
You can talk
read.
about that.
Yes, I'm so
You're
excited
welcome.
now. So Chicago apparently is offering their 7th pick
For
in the
Lonzo.
draft to the Lakers for Lonzo Ball, which is a great. I think it's really good for the Bulls
That's the first I'm hearing of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, if he can stay healthy, but
if he stays healthy because he doesn't need to shoot.
Now with that team,
And he can just run the offense and distribute it and play some and rebound, which both of those things he can do very well.
elite level, for his position.
And then all of a sudden he's he's away from the Lakers spotlight, and the Bulls have been so awful. I mean, they get to 35-40 wins. That's a huge benefit for them. And then the Lakers have the 7th and 4th pick. Now what? Because the management with the Pels is different, so they're not all hell bent on like screw the Lakers, we're not giving you anything. Although the whole Rich Paul thing, they might still be angry about. But if you can offer them the 7th and 4th pick now, and you and I completely agreed. Because I think that the Knicks still have a chance at Anthony Davis, and literally the same 3 players I said were Dennis Smith Jr., Kevin Knox, and Mitchell Robinson.
Those are the guys I want.
Because you
That's
have
a-
the
and the
4th
pick.
pick, and then now
that's
you
a
have
great trade.
now you have
It is.
and
benefits
the
both teams actually.
and you get Barrett with the pick, so now you have Barrett and Zion Williamson who know each other. You can have Drew. It's Drew Holiday is the one with the new one. So you have
Well,
Drew.
we got to think by the time they're contending, he probably won't still be there. Though.
It doesn't matter though. But you have him to start out with to help at least begin because Dennis Smith is on it. But you have Drew Holiday. You could have Barrett, Zion Williamson, Randall, and Mitchell Robinson as your starters. You still have Etienne Moore, Solomon
That's
Hill.
a tiny bit of shooting if you start Barrett, Williamson,
well, I mean,
Randall, and Robinson.
Well, yeah, you don't have anything.
I don't
but
think Barrett
but
hit 1-3 in the
and shit,
in the
Dennis Smith
March
Jr.
Madness,
is your
did
point
he?
guard, or is Drew Holiday
Yeah.
your point guard?
Well,
Doesn't-
that's- well, I
neither
mean-
of them are dead-eye shooters.
No, they're not.
You can move
But you
Dennis
have
with it
you
too,
have
though.
but you have things to begin with, and then you still have Etienne Moore, Solomon Hill, Okafor off the bench, and Kevin Knox and Dennis Smith Jr. So you have 10 guys that you can kind of figure something out. That don't. Holiday's the biggest one at $20+ million. In another year, you can trade him as an expiring contract to maybe get something else. But then you have a young team that at least would be exciting and fun. Now the Lakers, if they get the 7th pick and they could offer the 7th and 4th pick. And then and again, they took Kuzma to the draft. Hey guys, here's our guy. You want to see our prize stud? We're walking him out in front of everybody. You
can
send
score
him,
points. You can
and,
play well.
and if you're New Orleans, you're clearly taking him. And it's just a matter of how you feel about the Ingram health situation, he or Hart. But you're not going. And Alonzo's gone. You can still end up with like 3 young guys, 2 picks.
Yeah, because England is blood clots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Same
I
thing
mean,
ended Blosh's career.
and nobody wants to have a player die on the court in their uniform.
Yeah.
Well, even then, I mean, I think that's not making him untradeable, but his value, I mean, is
It's pretty low.
Yeah.
He
That's
played
the point.
unbelievably when LeBron went
After the
down. He
All-Star
played
break, he was great.
After the
Yeah.
All-Star break, he was putting up 24 and
He was
7, 24 and
continuing
8.
the end of the previous season. He bounced back to where he was.
I think that's going to be something you throw in at the end of the trade. Like, well, we'll give you a year or two. It's not
Yeah, no,
going
it's
to be a big part.
it's Hart Kuzma, and we need the roster spot because he doesn't want the young
and
guy
the 2
anyway.
picks.
The only thing is, I don't, everything I'm hearing, I don't see any chance in the world that he goes to L.A.
No,
I heard
they don't
some
want
other
to.
day. Well, it didn't even put this together yet, but the owner of the Pelicans is also the owner of the Saints. Well, what happened to the Saints this year in the NFC playoffs? They had the controversial call against the Los Angeles Rams. I didn't get that till the other day, and someone put that together for me. And when they were bringing in Griffin, they're like, you have free range to do whatever trade you want. but there is still that thought that they will not let them do anything with the Lakers.
In any normal sense, Josh gave the stink face to that idea. I would agree.
They just hate the entire city of LA.
Yes, no, because New Orleans is that small and that protective. It's like
and they're a
their
football
own,
town,
yeah.
too,
It's
so
like
basketball's
it's like they wouldn't normally care about the Lakers in any way, but if it's like our guy that's going to help them win, screw that.
And he's exactly right, and that's what it is because New Orleans is a football town. They got the Saints, they got LSU. They're basketballs. Well, we have a basketball team, and they finally started to do something good with college basketball. And what happens with the coach this year? They were making a run, the LSU Tigers, and then that happened. So they're a football town there. So I do get it. Like hey, you're the owner of the Saints, and you have the why let LA? They already are LA. Like why give them the missing piece they want?
I think the Knicks deal is just a better deal.
I think
absolutely
it's
the better
definitely a better
deal.
deal.
But an official deal.
It's a higher
is that
pick and better
speculation?
players.
Well, the thing is, I think that if I'm New Orleans, if they're still intending to stick it to Rich Paul and the Lakers inadvertently, I would intimate that might be interested in the conversation to force them to trade Lonzo Ball for the seventh.
Chicago.
Which again, that's a great pickup for Chicago. It's better for Ball, and then now. Los Angeles has these draft assets, which LeBron does not want. He does not want to carry new guys. He wants veteran guys, and then still make the Knicks trade. Just kind of, it's like, oh, maybe we'll listen to that. And it's not a bad trade for basketball reasons. It's just a bad trade for LeBron wants to win in the next 3 years.
One more title.
If the Lakers didn't sign LeBron James and they were building with these young guys, and that same deal was offered, and they could say that Lonzo doesn't quite fit with what we have, or we can find a different point guard, or whatever reason. And then all of a sudden, they're walking away with the 4th and 7th pick, and all the other guys that they're building up. It's like the Lakers, and they'd re-sign Randall, which they probably would have if they didn't get rid of, or if they didn't sign LeBron.
Yeah.
Then you've got
a really good core player.
So here's something. Let's say you pull the Lonzo trigger and you get the 4th and the 7th pick now, but then they do the deal with New York instead, and then you have all these young things in LeBron. Then do you go back to considering trading LeBron?
You trade LeBron. You trade LeBron.
You'd have to.
I think as a typical normal organization would look to do that.
But that's the Lakers.
But even with the 7th and 4th pick, with a very deep draft, you can get some solid players, but you're not getting that superstar. Although I don't know. I mean, with the 7th and 4th pick, with some who would be out there? I mean, it would have to be a sign and trade kind of situation, though, because I mean, you would say it's like, hey, Paul George to the 7th and 4th, Oklahoma City's going to say, fuck you. I mean, you have those things that are out there, and those players are going to be good, but it's like
tradable for LeBron, a 34-year-old LeBron.
It's not who. Well, I mean, many team we've
anybody that
disagreed
wants
on
to
this.
win next season.
Yes, we disagreed on this,
Philly.
but it's like even without that, Philly
would be a
would.
great fit for him. Those out with that.
It should have been where he went
The
anyway.
Ben Simmons
absolutely
swap. It should have been where he went anyway.
With Simmons and I had a brain for Embiid. He doesn't want to go deal with that over there.
No, it would be Simmons for
Simmons
LeBron.
would be
Simmons
sent for
for
LeBron.
LeBron.
Why would LA do that? So then they have Simmons and
They have a bunch of non-shooting point guards, but then you get rid of Lonzo Ball.
No,
Lonzo Ball's with the 7th pick.
Yeah,
so
but
that's
then you have
swapped out.
21, 22-year-old Ben Simmons, and you have 10 years figured out.
Yes,
That's how you do it.
And then
you
all
get
the
rid of
rest.
Lonzo Ball, and you're already at that point. You're going to be losing.
Ben's better without Embiid anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
Rajon
Ingram-
Rondo's gone anyways, so you can get some shooters that surround him with and make a better team. It
Ingram,
works.
Hart, Kuzma are better because of Simmons, because he can do all the other things. He can do the things that Lonzo does, but he's taller and younger. And also now with all of that money gone, you have the players are going to come to L.A. People, I think this is LeBron James at L.A. is the same problem with Kobe Bryant at L.A. in the last 5 years of his career. No big-time free agent wanted to be under that shadow.
And I hate to say this, but I think his best years are behind us in terms of playoffs.
He's 34, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
well, not even that. Is I don't think he's making another deep run. I mean, there's too much help he needs in LA. Just let's think about it. Let's say they do get Anthony Davis. Let's say they keep. I mean, if they
get Davis and Durant leaves, though, that's big.
it's yes,
but
because it
then
makes Golden State
he
weaker.
still has no shooters. So unless they get Reggie Miller out of retirement, they get Mike Miller to come back. They get a bunch of shooters all of a sudden. AD and LeBron is going to be a force, no doubt about it. But what like we've seen, it's shooting. It's a shooting league right now.
Yeah, but LeBron. Yeah, I think the Lakers were 4th in the West before LeBron got hurt.
They were.
He was already
That was
winning
early
with
in the season, though.
He was winning without shooters.
That was early in the season. Games didn't matter as much. I mean,
It
when
was
did he go out?
Christmas Day. It was Christmas Day. They were routing the Warriors, and he got hurt late in the third quarter. And
good
that team
memory.
still held on. But it was the issues with that.
The trade rumors made him implode.
Yes. and New Orleans did a fantastic job sticking it to him. And I think that was the mistake that Rich Paul and LeBron James thought. It's like, oh, well, we'll just get him and we'll be able to make this happen. It's like, well, what if it doesn't? Because they don't have to make the trade when we want them to make the trade.
You had no chance of winning this year. They rushed it. They didn't need to do that.
They didn't. He needed to, particularly, they didn't need to sign all the veterans they did. They needed to find out if those young players could play. And yes,
that's what they called them, meme team. Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, Rajon Rondo, and LeBron, the meme team.
I'm surprised Carmelo did not
and Beasley
end up there.
You know, after
that Zubac trade was the worst trade I've ever seen in my life. Mike Muscala looks like a corner table. He just stands there.
The Clippers,
I don't get that one at all.
The Clippers are. I mean, the Clippers might have choices. They might have to choose between signing Kawhi Leonard or Kevin Durant.
Well, you're coming in as shooters. You're coming into core. You know.
It's close. I think they have to trade somebody, but I mean, it's
they
close.
Get it done.
Jerry West would find a way.
You know, I think a lot of people, you know, us included, are going to be disappointed in the offseason this year. You know, there's a lot of speculation what's going to happen.
You think Kawhi stays?
I think I do, honestly. I don't. They've turned him into. I saw something last night. Like the Kawhi, basically dining Kawhi.
Was it wine and dine? Kawhi and dine.
Over 60 local places already participate in this in Toronto, where he can go in, do whatever, eat whatever he wants for free. I even heard there's a detailing shop and a lawyer.
Yeah, if he resigns with Toronto, all the people with the signs, that he can eat there for free as long as he's a Raptor.
Well, he's a mini celebrity there.
It's not like buying food's going to be an issue.
No, but I mean, but rich people are rich because they don't spend money.
Yeah. Well, because someone brought up the point the other day, in Toronto you got to pay dual taxes. So he's paying taxes here and he's still paying taxes in LA because he has a home in LA. So in Toronto he is paying dual taxes. So, you know, free meals.
But he does have health insurance covered up there.
Well, I mean, as you could attest, I mean, you probably spend how much a week on food?
My Postmates just yesterday, I think I broke $100.
So you spend $400 or $500 a week on food? You're telling me getting that for free wouldn't be whatever.
It's usually it's probably like $120 on groceries and then like $100 on eating out.
So still about $250 over the course of a year.
That's $1,000 a month. I mean, you're talking $12,000 right there. I mean, obviously, you know, Kawhi's eating better, eating more meals and stuff. But I mean,
free is free.
I don't know. I eat pretty top notch.
He really does.
But you don't eat Kawhi $20 million a year, Toronto superstar notch. Like, I mean, that's. I'd like to think that
chef
much money.
And whoever else.
I do think that Josh Guns Blazin is correct though that I think almost all of the free agents are going to stay with their team except for Durant. I think for the most part.
Kyrie Irving?
Well, I'm sorry.
Gone.
He's gone.
Kyrie's gone.
I've already counted him as gone.
Kyrie, I don't even count him as a Celtic anymore.
I don't know if Boston wants him.
No, they
don't want him.
Especially,
I think it's a mutual break.
I think, and Rozier made it easier for him. Rozier said, if Kawhi stays, I guess I'll have to look elsewhere for playing time. So it's like Boston. Oh well.
Well, here's the deal: if Kyrie decides to leave, and he's going to leave,
he's going to the Knicks or the Lakers.
He goes to the Lakers, man. They can make that trade for Lonzo Ball. Like, the way it's going to happen, I don't think Anthony Davis is going to go to the Lakers. That's just not happening. Well, it's not happening.
Well, here's the thing, though. They can only get both of those guys if they trade money out.
Exactly.
So if Anthony Davis goes in and they don't take a lot of money back, they can only get like the one guy.
So if Kevin Durant leaves, does Golden State get DeMarcus Cousins on a bigger discount because he just got hurt again?
He'll sign another 1-year deal.
But it won't be for the $5 million.
Older, man.
He'll get a $10 or $15 million deal though. Because I mean that money will be available.
I think he signs another 1-year deal.
No, I'm agreeing with that. But
it might be
but
less
he signed. No, it was like a $4 million deal.
That's what I mean.
He's only going to be warranted to be signed.
I think he's going to be able. If they sign him again, they'll give him a $10 or $12 million deal.
I mean, do you keep him there to go against Zion? What's the point of keeping him there? I haven't seen anything this year, especially on the playoffs. I'd be like, we need to throw DeMarcus Cousins $15 million.
It's a weird.
DeMarcus Cousins for $15 million is a goddamn steal.
It's a great deal, but
here's 22.
Does he stay healthy? That's the thing.
Well, you got to think with Durant gone, how many shots is that you open up for him?
A lot more, and then
but they get worse defensively with him on the court.
It was a weird situation. Those 5 starters didn't play well, but again, that's the first time they played well, and they didn't play until
they didn't play much at all.
Yeah, how often? I mean,
and there's obviously it's like how do we fit in together? But with Durant gone, and with the other guys all about just moving the ball around this, and Draymond Green is like, well, I don't have to defend the big guys as much. It makes his life better.
Way easier.
And
By the
then-
way, Draymond being the MVP of that fucking series. I mean, yeah, Curry was out there
Curry
scoring
averaged
the
like
points.
36.
He averaged 36, but he was the
Curry
glue guy.
scored more points in a 4-game
Than
playoff
anybody.
sweep than anybody in the history
I
of
get
basketball.
that. but I'm
you
just talking about- I'm talking
overly
about-
hate Curry. That's what it is.
No, I love Curry. But actually, I know it's really funny now that Durant has been off the court this past series. I thoroughly enjoyed watching
Well, see,
Curry play.
you could have painted the benefit of the impact that Durant has. It's a weird situation with them because obviously they're a great team with him, but they're just
still a
below
great team without
him. But the impact that his presence makes on that team is what made them great before. Was all of the small things that Draymond Green can fill in, but he doesn't need to, or doesn't have to, or doesn't have the opportunity to.
He doesn't have the
because Durant
opportunity
is
at
there.
all because he put up he slapped up 3 triple doubles. It was three of those
Four.
games?
He's had four triple doubles in the playoffs, and all of them on the road.
Yeah, and he was the glue guy. I mean, you watch him during Game 3. He's out there like when Bell missed that dunk. He's like out there saying, "Hey, kid, don't worry about it. We all do it. We all happen." And then the very next play, he gets the assist to help him dunk the ball to keep his confidence up. He's just doing all the little things like that.
Well, see, it appears that Green and Durant have that Shaq and Kobe situation about leadership, in that Durant doesn't want to be the hey, you need to do this kind of guy like Shaq does, but he wants to be the popular guy that everybody
Shaq
follows.
and Kobe were the best 2 players in the league, though.
They were
One
but
and
they
2,
couldn't-
and Shaq was the better player
But
in the league.
if they had
So-
just chosen to get along with it, they would have won a lot more than they did. They broke up themselves because for
Egos.
Whereas Draymond is like, it's like, no, we need to get better, blah blah blah, and we'll get in the face and everything and support and back it up because he knows that everybody wants to be around that. But because they live together in the same stratosphere, they can't both do the things that they need to do.
Yeah.
So are we thinking, where's Durant going? Are we thinking New York? I hope not New York.
I saw something today about the Clippers. It would be
The Clippers have been big in the running for a while.
It would be magnificent to see the Clippers because I don't care.
He would fit that team.
Well, it would be a perfect
He would
situation
perfect
with
fit
that.
for him.
Well, I mean, they're a playoff
He
team.
fits everywhere.
He does.
He does.
He's
Durant
in-
wants too much of the fame to go to the Clippers, though. I mean, he's
No,
not.
it's
He
Los
wants
Angeles.
the. I know, but it's the stepsister.
But see,
it's the little
I
brother. It's-
agree. In most situations, that's how it was through the early 2000s.
When he said it's the stepsister, I immediately thought of something else.
when it goes into that, but if you win a title
For the Clippers
in LA, and all
You
of a sudden
become a god.
well, and not just that, you're winning a title in LA with the Clippers
While LeBron is
Is
in
a
LA.
Laker.
You just said it right there under LeBron's shadow.
And that's why
he's
Durant
out.
would want to do that. That's the
'cause
one thing
Durant-
It
the
would
same
kinda be
guy
like-
who gets into it with the media. He doesn't have balls. Kevin Durant doesn't want to go
Kevin
compete
Dur-
against LeBron in his own city.
Kevin Durant winning
he
a title with the Clippers is like
come
Robert
on,
Baratheon
no.
taking over the throne.
Yes.
It would be
Yeah.
100% falling ass backwards into a title like that. It would be amazing.
He just doesn't want to be in his
He
shadow.
would finally. You could potentially shift a narrative of is LeBron better than me? Yada yada yada. Or was I better than LeBron?
Well, see, that's
to
the
him
thing.
being,
Well, that's the thing we were discussing. Was it just us last week or previously? It's like Kobe only had like that really small 18-month to 24-month window where he was clearly the best player in all of the NBA.
Yeah.
He just happened to exist between Shaq and then Duncan and whatever. Or
Duncan
or
and
LeBron.
LeBron.
And towards like who's the best player. And Durant has LeBron, and then he has Giannis or / Kawhi right behind him. So he's got this
Little window.
and he's not getting the credit with Golden State that he thought he would
he's
get.
never going to get the credit.
No, he won't because they were good.
Who
But-
thought he was going to get that credit though? Like only
he
were-
did.
Only he. I mean, who's dumb enough? to,
Those championships mean dog shit to me.
they don't mean
Still.
a fucking thing to me. The moment I saw him leave the Durant,
They
like,
mean something. It's just that he gets
they,
no
they
credit
needed,
for
no,
it.
they know they needed.
It,
They didn't. They
it
didn't
looks
need
worse
Durant.
now.
It
How
does.
good they're doing. They look worse now.
They
Those
like
titles.
they didn't. The Warriors didn't need Durant. They just needed him off Oklahoma City.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which
It was
is
a chess move.
It was a chess move. Like
and that's why
Draymond Green, when they lost that series down 3-1 to LeBron and that fucking Cavs team. By the way, I genuinely think if Durant didn't go to the Warriors, LeBron probably has 2 more rings,
Yep.
and they've actually stayed with
that.
the Cavs. That move right there was a ripple effect in the league. That
it's the worst move in NBA history.
I hate it.
You want to talk about the other ripple effect is Pachulia. No, is it Pachulia who stepped on?
Stepped on
Kawhi.
Kawhi.
Kawhi doesn't sprain his ankle in that. That changes.
Maybe the
NBA.
Spurs beats the
Cheap shot Pachulia, is that what Skip calls him?
This whole butterfly effect bullshit.
No. But I mean, if that maybe
He
the
had
Spurs
a
won that series. They were up, what?
before the game.
They were up
They were up
22.
20.
They're up 22 in that game.
But if Kawhi just doesn't get hurt, then does all the rest of the Spurs stuff even happen? That's the other stuff, because it was all the beef on how he's being treated, recovering
after they were recovered.
Way too conspiracy theory over here now.
I'm not talking about. No, that's if he's
if
not
the
hurt,
Water
he's
had a
not want to
pH
leave.
level of 8.6. Do we think that the tenant would have had?
No. That's not like somebody making a physical decision. If that thing never happens, then does he still want to leave?
If he never gets hurt, does he still want to leave? Because the way he didn't enjoy the way the Spurs treated him with all that
stuff. It's just funny how we were.
No, you're right about that.
Well, no. But it's all hypotheticals. It don't really matter. But I mean, just saying, Durant going to the Warriors altered the NBA for the next 20 years. So
here's the thing, though. This may benefit, like what you were saying about Kawhi staying in Toronto. What may benefit them is Durant's mercurial nature. Because if the Clippers only can get the one, they're waiting on Durant. Because it's not that necessarily they believe he's a better player, but it weakens Golden State. And now that's a bigger play for them, because not only do they jump up to maybe 4 and 5, but with Golden State coming down, the difference is more in between. And with that weight,
I think if they get Durant, they go up to like 3.
Yeah, well, and with all that
with
happens,
Durant, they go up to 3.
And with all that happening, then Kawhi with Toronto, it's like, hey, we love you. Here's everything. We want you to stay. And then a lot of those decisions happen within the first 5 minutes.
I think Kawhi stays.
I think he stays because
there's a chance.
Him going to even if he goes to the Clippers, it's Los Angeles and it's home with the air quotes. They're going to want to talk to him way more than he wants to talk. Toronto is fine. It's like, hey, you want to be the god above us and not talk to us? We're okay. We'll worship you from down here.
Care.
We'll worship you from down low.
Drake does all the interviews.
I think it just gave me an idea, Jerry. I think we need to have a 5 to 10 minute segment every week about sports conspiracy theories.
Do we start with the Patrick Ewing one?
We start with the Patrick Ewing.
Just like a 5 to 10 minute of, and let's just see how twisted we. I was thinking that was my first time to talk. I was letting y'all do your thing. When he was talking about the Kawhi and Spurs, and if he gets hurt there in the Spurs, it's the medical stuff.
The butterfly effect.
I'm talking about Patrick Ewing. What did I miss?
Oh no!
The 85 draft lottery.
Oh yeah,
the frozen card.
The frozen card. Yeah, and how they end up getting that pick.
Flip the cards and they reach in and rummage. It's like, oh, this is the cold one. Knicks.
Yeah. So.
Quick pivot, real quick. Did anyone catch any of the boxing match, or at least I know?
Well, we saw the first 8 seconds. 14
you mean the last
Deontay Wilder?
Deontay Wilder's knockout.
I love boxing, and I'm almost to the point now where if I'm not somewhere and the fight's not on or not free, I mean, you're either going to get a Canelo decision or, the knockout like that. Now, I'll pay to see the knockout, but I mean, just think you paid, $70-$80
bucks to see that.
Worse is the Pacquiao Mayweather. You get that fight, and then you find out later that his shoulder was separated, basically. And
he
wanted
the payday.
But he wanted the payday. And he couldn't punch. And you're like, ugh. But it took longer for the YouTube video link to load that John sent me than to watch the knockout.
What a clean shot! That was
the beautiful shot though. They separate. I think Water had already got a pretty good shot on him prior to that. They actually had him all like wobbly, and then they locked up, and then the referee separated them, and then
your description took longer than the fight.
Exactly. Well, no, the fight lasted
38 seconds.
No, the fight lasted a minute
36
6.
seconds.
I want to say it was 55 seconds.
It was
55 to 58 when the knockout occurred. So
they're locked up, and they separates them, and then he just goes in and goes dink done. You're like, whoa, what the hell?
What do you guys think about the comments Wilder made before the fight about that he's trying to get a body and that he's in the only sport where he can get paid to kill someone and it's acceptable?
He's
Did you
not
guys
wrong.
See that?
He's not wrong.
Look, guys, Mike Tyson wanted to eat children.
Thank you. And
who cares?
So when I first heard the comments, I was like,
shit?
it's not the best look. But no, you just caught it right there. Exactly.
This is a sport that nobody's paid attention with for years. So no, anything that helps people to watch any
with
of it.
Mayweather not fighting right now and everything going on,
yeah.
it's only whatever Wilder fights. It's either Canelo, Wilder, or Mayweather at this point. Mayweather's in his 40s.
Joshua Anthony, I don't want to hear anything from him. Why is that fight not happening? I mean, obviously it's money. And
it's that's the problem. The 3 big heavyweights are represented by 3 different promoters,
of course.
and they're going to milk those cows until they're
but
too old.
Two of them want to fight. Two of them want to fight.
But
it's just Joshua.
Well,
Yeah.
I
want to see.
Just all they could set up the round robin beforehand.
I want to see Wilder fight Fury again.
Sure, 100%.
That was a great fight.
I agree, and everyone thinks Wilder won so heavily. I disagree.
Everyone thinks Fury won.
Yeah, I know.
I guess it's mixed, but I was hearing more Wilder. And again, once again, like you said, it's just what.
That was a good draw.
It was
a
an
decent
entertaining
draw.
fight.
Yeah, it was an entertaining fight.
He wasn't knocking Fleury out. I mean, he did.
He tried.
Oh, he tried. Oh my
Jesus.
God, did he try?
The Undertaker.
It was like watching a pit bull get punched in the face and just
Dude,
completely
just eating up
unbudge,
his-
and you're like, holy shit, he actually could take these fights. And then he also, how many times did he get up in that fight too?
Twice.
Twice?
He got knocked down twice.
And you're like, there's no way he gets up from either one of them. You're like, holy shit.
And that second knockdown, he got put down with a double shot, one and then one on the way down.
Yeah, and he still got back up. You're like, what?
He looked dead. And then,
He did.
And then his eyes just opened and Undertaker sat up.
Oh, I remember that was great. Oh, man. It was
There's so
like,
much potential in the heavyweight division, and they're just like you said, he could carry boxing. I'm not interested in Canelo right now. He's not won anything, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, he's had some good knockouts in the past.
Well,
but
but think
the
with Canelo-
Triple G fight, he killed him. Triple
Yeah.
G killed him.
Okay, I was about to say, yeah,
Triple G killed him.
There's no reason that should have been another decision, and we should be going to the third one.
And the rematch should have maybe been a draw too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, definitely Triple G the first one.
but I also think that, I mean, he has one blemish on his career fighting Mayweather, but he also fought Mayweather when he was 24.
Yeah.
He's
So
on
you're like,
Big
that
Brothers
wasn't-
too. He's on Golden Boy. I mean, that's
You know,
And Mayweather wanted to get that fight in because he's like, okay, this kid's young.
Yeah.
I can beat him. I
was
can beat
smart.
him. If he fought him if Canelo had been a little bit
150
older,
million.
That's the thing about boxing, that they're so obsessed with their records. That's why the UFC's grown so much in popularity, because everybody has to fight everybody.
You know, though,
All the
I'll
time.
still-
That's 'cause
I'll
it's
sit
the one
down for a
organization.
I'll sit down for a good boxing match, but man, I'm not going to go watch the UFC unless it's on. You know, if I'm somewhere and they want to put it on, I'm not going to go out of my way to.
I don't really watch him. I mean, after
I watch all the good UFC fights.
after seeing, well, I mean, granted, don't get me wrong. What happened at the end of the McGregor?
That was a good fight before that happened too.
Oh my God!
That was a great fight.
And now what? Did he suspend him for how long?
Conor got 9.
Khabib
Khabib got 9.
Khabib got 9
Well,
months.
he got a year, but if he does this stupid little like promo campaign, he'll get 9, and Conor gets like 6.
And how long
But
has it been now, though?
But the fines are $500,000 to $50,000. That's
Who got to 50?
Conor.
His people are the one. Whatever.
Yeah,
You know, and
it's
that's-
nonsense.
It
Well,
is
just like you're
nonsense.
talking about with fight promoting and the Wilder comments, that's one thing they were talking about with the possible rematch was, did McGregor take it too far? Talking about religion, talking about his family, things like that. I do think it becomes
It wasn't very
a point,
WWE.
There becomes a point where it's like, okay, and I think and that was my thing with the Wilder comments. Is
It
that I
also sold the
understand
most
that-
pay-per-views in UFC history.
It did. It was a good fight.
It
though.
shattered the record.
because they felt the hate.
They felt the hate.
It was
So
real, and they showed you it was real. It shattered the record by 800,000 buys.
Did it really?
1.6 million to 2.4.
Huh. Wow.
What was
Both those
1.6?
guys got a piece of that pay-per-view.
Who was
Yeah, but I think
1.6?
It's another Conor fight. Conor versus Nate 2. Which is that is, if you want to watch a UFC fight, go watch Conor versus Nate Diaz 2. That's one of the best fights I've ever seen that went to a decision.
I mean,
Nate
Conor,
Diaz should have
outside
won
of
that
Rousey's
fight, I
been the
thought.
best thing
I
that's
thought Nate
happened.
Diaz did win that fight.
I thought Nate Diaz won that fight. So, I mean, I'm never.
That just means it's trilogy time.
Just make it fight to death going forward.
but
fight
Conor's
until
done, I
someone
thought.
dies. Is that?
Well, I mean, they should just have
that's
the
too
crowd
much.
do thumbs up, thumbs down for the victors.
I even just heard actually today that they're trying to get Conor another fight. And the interesting point, I think I was listening to Fox Sports or not.
He was supposed to fight Donald Cerrone on an undercard, and he got pissed because it was the undercard. But it was going to be
that is.
no. But listen, it was going to be the undercard of Daniel Cormier versus Brock Lesnar. So it was going to be the biggest pay-per-view you ever seen in your life.
Yeah, that's not a
McGregor's
bigger
not
fight than Lesnar and Corey. Everybody watches. Anybody who'd watched any of that will come back to that.
And back to my point, just saying I don't watch a lot of UFC. One of those fights happened, I will be in front of the TV for that, no doubt about it.
How's Lesnar still fighting?
He's not. He actually retired.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, how
He actually just came back to the WWE and won the Money in the Bank briefcase.
did he win Money in the Bank?
Yeah, he wasn't even in the match. He came out in the end.
How many,
he
just
how many
came
times
out-
has retired
Oh
from
no,
the
no,
WWE?
they injured somebody before, and he took a spot.
Who injured?
Sami Zayn.
I know nothing about wrestling.
Well, I googled it when I saw Brock won.
Yeah, actually, no, I do
don't
remember.
watch
I think I
that.
saw an image of Brock holding up the fucking.
He's carrying it around like a boombox, like Radio Raheem. Go like that. And people are like, I forget how old Brock is. No one gets his references.
Yeah, no, Brock is pretty old actually.
So is Cormier. Cormier's 30. Cormier just was turning 40 in the beginning of the year. No, he may have just turned 40.
Really?
Yeah, 41 to 40.
Because he was what 37 in that last John Jones fight.
38
maybe?
or something like
Yeah.
that.
It's kind of weird
Well,
though.
he got a late start because of the Olympic wrestling.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to see how actually old these fighters are, though, and still competing relatively well.
Well, it's the difference in nutrition and health over the last 30, 40 years.
Well,
is true.
and also when you're talking about MMA, mixed martial arts, there's so many different styles involved. It's a lot more of a chess match.
Yeah, at this point,
Yeah.
yeah.
Boxing,
I mean,
you know,
boxing, no.
Boxing is a lot, but a lot
I mean,
more.
George
speed.
Foreman won by I think-
Heavyweight is different than the smaller guys.
It is
though,
very
'cause, I mean,
much.
you just,
A lot
it's-
less competition.
It's and also it's just a matter of being able to withstand things. And
You can take a punch.
Foreman was a puncher, so he
Was he
just
46 when he got the
He was
title?
46 when he got the title.
I
He
think
got
the
that-
last time,
Yeah,
the
that's
first
what I mean,
second
yeah.
time was like 44 or something.
Yeah. He knocked out. Who was it?
Was it Larry Holmes?
No,
No. When he won the title like at 46, he knocked out.
I can see his face.
Who was it?
It's the guy that beat
The guy that beat. Was it Lennox Lewis?
No,
No.
Lewis was after.
No.
It was. Oh god,
So we have phones,
somebody's
guys.
looking it up. No, he's looking it up.
Yeah, you gotta let him look it up.
The
I have his face. I have
it's
his
the in between
name.
guy. He was only the champ for the one time. It's like he beat
Moore.
Yeah, Michael Moore.
Jesus Christ. George Foreman has 81 professional boxing fights.
Yeah, but who was it that he
was
won that
Moore.
last title? Was it Moore? I do believe, but I can't
He was the
remember.
guy in between.
Yeah.
Because
Michael Moore.
Yeah, Michael
Yeah,
Moore.
Michael
'Cause
Moore.
His
Moorer.
first defense was Moore. His first defense was Foreman, and Foreman beat him.
Yeah. You're
Foreman wearing the same trunks that he wore when he lost in the Rumble in the Jungle.
That's awesome.
So, is anyone else excited for football?
We've all been excited for that. We just
Nah.
don't want to talk about it yet.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
the
not-
reason I bring it up is they already have lines out for first week.
do they really?
Oh yeah,
How come
gotta
you
go through
already
some of
have
these.
lines for the first week when some? Did you see the talk about the
You know
Jets?
the schedule's been out for a while.
Well, I know that, but you know the Jets are already talking about trading away
No,
fucking.
everybody else is.
The Jets are
Apparently,
talking about trading away Bell.
Gaze doesn't think that you should put money into a star running back, and that position doesn't
agree
deserve
with
the
them.
money. I mean, he's
agree.
right.
Yeah, but you should have thought about that. I don't know, a couple months ago before you
Well, they
gave him
didn't
what.
sign. He didn't sign him. He
And
wasn't
that's-
hired. At
He
the
that's
wasn't
what
the
I
one
like
that
the whole
signed him. That's the
situation,
thing.
though. And
So,
then
like,
they bring him in, and
There's
it's
all that
like-
talk about them possibly. That'd be the most Jets thing to do.
And he said he came in very overweight, didn't he?
Well,
Yeah, he
I
did
wouldn't
show
have
up
that.
pretty
I mean,
overweight.
He hadn't played in 10, 12 months.
But,
He hadn't
I mean,
played what? He hadn't played since December of the year.
If you
the
didn't
year
play, then
before.
you're healthy and you can work out.
Oh no, I agree with all
he
of
can
that.
be in. She could be in shape by game one, so it doesn't really matter.
Speaking of game one, we have the Packers and Bears start that Thursday night. I think it's gonna be a great game.
Packers Bears.
Rodgers, man, he's got to come out.
Who's the new coach of the Packers? Wait, the offensive coordinator from the Tennessee Titans, the most average offense I've ever seen in my life.
He didn't quite do much with Mariota. Yeah.
Well, they kind of with Rodgers. I mean, it was like the LeBron treatment. Like they need a coach who's not going to come in there and be like, hey, try to run the show, but someone who's going to, kind of relate to him.
Talk about a coach that
younger.
ruined the guy's career. Well, not saying ruined his career, but McCarthy didn't
His
do
multiple
a-
MVPs and Super Bowl that ruined it.
He only had one. He only has one Super Bowl. Now.
Yeah,
So,
no,
I
I
mean,
said, but
Everybody's
multiple
never spent
MVPs.
money.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it is weird though. It's like it's somebody was saying was it Isaiah Thomas saying with the big travesty with LeBron James is he hasn't been given Hall of Fame coaching. It's like regardless of the fact that he doesn't want it, it's not like there's a lot of Hall of Fame coaches during his career anyway because Popovich was leaving San
would-
Antonio.
yeah.
Phil Jackson had
Well, there was
no
all that
want
talk
there.
that he was going to go to the Spurs
And-
at one point.
But there was
wouldn't have
I would
minded that.
have loved to have seen that.
that would have been the when he went to Miami. That would have been the time for him to go to San Antonio.
Yeah.
And it would have been the perfect fit because he could have done all the things
In
that the
2010?
players. I think so, yeah. That was
So
the
you
first.
think never go to Miami?
Never go to Miami.
I
I know. I mean,
I
he's,
like that decision.
He was,
Of course you do. You're a Heat fan.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's going there because he gets to play with Dwayne Wade. But if you take out the friends equation, that's like that would have been the best fit for the entirety of his career.
Yeah, he
it would
would
have
have retired
extended his
as Spur.
career. They would have found he would have been able to do all the things they needed to do.
Because he was the Spurs at the time were the team that was already originating this whole. We're not playing a full season. We're playing for the playoffs.
They were already resting things.
Resting
and everything.
things, and yeah,
You still had 6 more years of Duncan and
trolling
and all of those guys.
trolling the
together.
commissioner by sitting your 5 starters when you're playing the Warriors.
But
type
Rodgers
things.
never had a Wade and
But that's the
Bosh.
thing. Well,
Well, no, he never did.
Give
well-
Rodgers Julio Jones and Brian Urlacher on the other side.
They
good
had
God.
him on the defensive side of the ball with Clay Matthews and B.J. Raji and all
They
that.
did. They had-
Clay's one of the most overrated linebackers in
I
my
agree.
lifetime.
I completely
You take
agree
away
with
that
that.
long hair and that porn star look he's got going on.
I was-
mean,
What do you think? The
he's
hair
what?
got him sacks?
I was
I think the
shocked.
hair got him attention. I mean,
I was shocked that New England passed on him because he would have been the perfect 3-4 linebacker for Belichick when they traded back, and then that's when Green Bay got him.
he just said it right there. New England passed on him. I mean, I know they've passed on a lot of
But
players.
he doesn't draft. Belichick doesn't like first-year linebackers. He likes linebackers that have been about 3 or 4 years in the league and learned some from football, and then he'll sign them, and all of a sudden they become great.
I'm gonna go ahead and give a week 1 special while we're here right now. Just
Already?
I'm giving a week 1 special.
Before you, what is the Packers Bears
Line
spread?
Who's home?
Yes, okay, it's in Chicago.
is in Chicago.
And it's because it's the 90th anniversary of the NFL, so it's the 2 oldest franchise.
I'm excited for that game. I
things.
mean, that's
Mitch Trubisky against Aaron Rodgers.
I
What's
think
the line?
No,
the
no.
Bears
It's the
are
Bears
going to-
defense.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Bears
Khalil
take
Mack
a big,
against.
Yeah.
take a big step down. It's you guys want to take a guess? We'll just guess.
Or
who's
you would
favorite.
guess the line?
It's in Chicago.
It's in Chicago.
In
Thursday
Chicago,
night.
let's say Chicago -3.
I give the Bears 7.
Chicago
I
-3.
I don't think Vegas should have any faith in that coach.
I think 5, but definitely I wouldn't be surprised by that. But I think it's 5 toward the Bears.
It was 4, -4.
-4.
There's some very interesting lines out here. The Vikings, 4-point favorites against Atlanta. I think the Vikings take a big step back along with the Bears.
The Vikings haven't addressed their offensive line problems, have they?
At all, no, they haven't.
They have the one big problem they haven't addressed. It's a very expensive problem. I think he's top 3rd
Kirk Cousins?
Yeah,
paid
Kirk Cousins.
quarterback in the NFL.
Well, but the thing is,
I mean, dude,
you can't.
folds like a lawn chair every time there's anything pressure.
Every
on
prime
him.
time game.
Well,
Bet
that's
against
a
them.
completely separate thing. But even with that, I mean, they weren't even able to block for him in the non-primetime game. So it's like I don't think that's changed.
Dalvin Cook always getting hurt doesn't help either.
Oh God, that's the thing. If he could have stayed healthy,
Well, I mean, who was behind him?
Latavius
McKinnon,
Murray.
Jared
it wasn't.
No,
It wasn't.
McKinnon.
It wasn't.
It was Murray,
It
wasn't
was
it?
Latavius.
It wasn't
Latavius
Cook.
And McKinnon, they had
McKinnon.
yeah. They've had 5 or 6 backs back there. I feel like for the past couple of years. But no, I'll go ahead and give a week 1 pick.
What's the Panthers line?
The Panthers line.
I mean, can they really do something without knowing Cam's situation?
I'm going to assume he's not going to play.
There's not a line actually right now, and that's
Because
probably.
of
Whoa, nope, false. I lied. Let's take a guess.
Who are they playing?
The Rams
Yeah, they played the
Oh,
Rams.
Lord.
in Carolina.
You sure that's not off the board?
We could bet it right now if we wanted to.
-14 Rams.
9. It's got to
10.
be 9. I don't know that they do
9.
double figures for the beginning of the season.
10.
I'm about to bet the Panthers right now just because you guys gave out such disrespectful numbers. The Panthers are +3.
+3. Well, I don't know what.
They're home.
Now, I do want to
It
say
depends if
usually on
Cam
the
plays or
limits-
not. I
Usually
don't
on these
know.
limits, though.
Well-
Here's the thing: these limits right now are what you can bet on this and what you can
Well,
bet
the Rams
Thursday before kickoff.
Well, the Rams had a lot of free agents.
They got the
on
spread when they
defense.
saw Christian McCaffrey's biceps.
A lot of free agents. The Rams had a lot of free agents on defense. So Nnamdi Su's already going somewhere else. I
It
think.
says he went to the Bucks because the Bucks they cut Joe McCoy.
So Gerald McCoy may end up going back to the Rams.
Joe McCoy probably goes to the Rams.
Yeah.
We have a friend in one of my group chats who's a Bucks fan. I was like, "What's that?" I get it if you're contending for the playoffs and you need someone to plug up the middle, but you just brought in a problem. I mean, even in
For
LA,
arguably one of the best defensive tackles in the
They
league.
signed him
Is
for
McCoy
multiple
hurt?
years?
Is McCoy
No,
hurt?
they gave him way too much money.
They did give him too much money. He's actually he at one point was arguably the second best defensive tackle in the league.
When he signed it, he was the best defensive tackle in the league, and then everybody's like, "Oh, Aaron Donald's like really
really good.
Aaron Donald is weird because it's like he's not big. Like when you look at him in a picture, it's like, oh, he looks like a normal guy. And then you realize, oh, wait, he's 6'4", 340 pounds. It's like, how does it
I know,
shape that
you're
way?
right, yeah, you're right. Someone
How
sent
is
me a
he
pic-
shaped that way?
Someone sent a picture of him, and they said that, and I said, "That's who?" So no, you're exactly right.
He just looks like an in shape, like 180-pound guy.
They got him at 6'1".
Okay, so but I mean, even then, he's still like what 300 pounds?
280.
280. It's a ridiculously ripped 280
Another
at 6'1".
Another website saying 6 foot.
Yeah, I think he is smaller on that, but I mean, he's it's weird because you'd think he'd
given-
that he'd
given
just
his-
be bigger.
Given his position,
He's
playing
just so
defensive
athletic
tackle.
though. At 280,
Playing a defensive tackle though, that's kind of weird. But I mean,
60 career sacks already.
That's-
59 and a half. And what's he, 6 years in the league?
5'6", I
Wait,
think.
he's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He made the Pro Bowl his rookie year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
like 5 years.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's
60
benefited-
sacks in 5 years.
he's benefited. It was always him and Watt for best defensive tackle, defensive player in the league, other than Kuechly for linebacker. But I mean, like
Well, it was
Watt's been
Kuechly
hurt.
and Wagner for the linebackers, but Wagner would get hurt more often.
Yeah.
But the Watt has been. I mean,
you can literally just see that. We're not talking about that. Goddamn it. So wait, what's the line for the opening? What's the opening line for Blues Bruins?
boy, I think with that point spread is like everybody's saying it's like, oh, everybody else is going to do the Rams what the Patriots did to the Rams. Not everybody can do that.
We'll see. I mean,
It is. Wait, who's
if it comes out if it comes out that Cam's not playing, that line shoots up. Guaranteed.
Oh, absolutely.
Shoots up. If Cam's not playing,
But
I'm
again,
is it that
I'm assuming
serious?
he's not.
But
Is
again,
it
there's
that
like
serious.
but there's
with
still
Cam? I'm asking. I don't know.
it's got. Well, I mean,
I mean,
yes, it is
it
because
is.
he's never taken
They
the rest
drafted
that
Will.
he needed.
They drafted Will Greer. It's that serious.
Yeah, and I also don't think Will Gray's going to do much, but whatever. I mean, just,
but I mean,
I
the
like
Rams
Gray.
had like
I think
5.
I can't take it into
I
serious.
like Greer.
I did so. I think he's a good NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a college quarterback, but I think he has the potential to be a very good NFL quarterback.
Yeah, but not good enough to take over Cam spot.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
A healthy
I mean-
Cam Newton, I'm sorry.
But that's not
Healthy
that's not what the
being
discussion is.
yeah,
The
healthy
discussion isn't
being-
healthy Cam Newton,
He was having a fantastic season until he got hurt, and then he started playing, and his numbers went to shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
and he couldn't throw the ball more than 20 yards downfield.
and he had no zip on the ball whatsoever. And I mean, anyone that tells me that can't, like, I'm seeing all this talk about Cam Newton being done, and how the Panthers should move on from Cam.
If
and
they
blah, blah.
continue to play him
The way
yes,
they do,
they
yes,
need to
absolutely.
rest him.
They need to rest him. They should have given him a year off 2 years ago.
I mean, they
needed it.
literally had Andrew Luck show you the playbook of how to recover a quarterback with
But
a shoulder
even
injury.
then,
Don't play that
even
first
then,
year.
Even then, Luck doesn't have the arm that he used to have right now because he's still recovering.
But what did the Colts do? They drafted offensive line so he doesn't get hit.
Yeah, true. And they also brought in other quarterbacks who could throw the ball for whenever they needed a Hail Mary.
You could tell in the Chiefs game. I mean, the throws that Luck was missing in the playoff game against the Chiefs. I mean, just you could tell he wasn't there. I mean, that or the nerves just crept up to him like they'd never have before. But I mean, just dink and dives. He was missing just passes from me here to the hallway. I mean, it was definitely something wrong mechanical, and part of that could have been playing an Arrowhead. I mean, it's playoffs.
Speaking of the Chiefs, have they figured out the whole Tyreek Hill thing yet?
No, I think it's a great topic though.
Talk about a team just falling apart player by player.
And this would be their.
Well, wait, who
the
just signed
second
Kareem
of the
Hunt?
two-
What?
Who signed Kareem Hunt again?
The Browns, they get him the second half of the season, 8-game suspension.
Cleveland.
That was
Yeah.
after,
Where
though,
he's from.
Basically,
And that's why everyone's so high on the Browns.
That's where he got in trouble, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
think
well, they
Baker.
sat out
That's
last
Ohio,
year
yeah.
once
was
they
Ohio.
found out.
I'm still high on the Browns. Though.
Well, yeah, they
I like
cut him. He
Baker
was cut for
Mayfield.
less than
I like Baker Mayfield a lot.
Until one thing goes wrong, that's what worries me. With
There's
the Browns,
two
with those
things. There's two things about
personalities.
Baker Mayfield. I love his personality and his attitude for that team to get people excited, and he does appear to have that thing late in the game. When something goes wrong, he can find something right. But he's still a
with that.
small dude, and if he gets hit, he's going to get squunched.
It's like Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, but I love him and Colin Cowherd's fucking beef. Have you seen any of that stuff? It's hilarious. Colin Cowherd hates him, but Colin Cowherd he hates Cam Newton. He hates Baker. He hates quarterbacks with personality.
He's an unwritten rules guy. He's the unwritten rules guy in baseball. It's like you
In
don't throw
baseball,
a bat
you-
or you don't do this.
Yeah,
and
I
it's like,
hate that shit. And
you're no fun.
Well, he's
You're-
still on a radio
He is.
show
He's
too.
doing it
So that's
personal.
what some people forget. And I'm not you. I'm saying everyone thinking like, oh, he's coming after some of these guys. It's like no, he's trying to get tuners to come in instead
He
of
had Baker on the
ESPN
show.
and-
Yeah.
yeah.
The funny thing is that like Baker, unlike every other quarterback, doesn't run from that. He was like leaning in. It's like, yep.
Well, did you guys see what they actually got in the argument about? It was from what I saw, it was Baker to come into the defense of OBJ because Colin did a
Oh, that's
top
the new
10.
one. That's the new one.
yeah.
Okay,
That's a
yeah,
new beef.
That was recently. Colin did a top 10 moments of OBJ, and I actually thought it was great. That was good radio right there. I was pleasantly entertained.
I think one of the benefits with OBJ going to Cleveland is Jarvis Landry is a teammate, which is his college roommate.
in LSU. I think that can be a good thing and a bad thing though, because then do they become too cliquey? Do you have your all stars to the point where hey, we're better than the team? And that's one thing that would worry me with such a cast like that. And then throwing Kareem Hunt in there, I just, whoo, man, you got some personalities in there.
You do have a lot of them, but the benefit is that the quarterback isn't a shrinking violet. He's not a guy that's going to get overwhelmed by the personalities of his wide receivers or the running back or the attention.
he has a bigger personality than all of them.
Well, I mean,
So, I mean, it's kinda- it kinda works.
If they didn't have a moron for a coach who never should have gotten retained for that year anyway, they would have won that Jets game. I think where he brought him back, but the Jets ended up holding him off or something. Or one of the very early in the season when he said no, he's not our quarterback, we're not playing him. They would have gotten that one win.
Hugh Jackson?
Yeah, and they would have made the playoffs.
Yeah,
and
they
the fact that Baker Mayfield still has a beef with Hugh Jackson, even though he left, but because he went to the Bengals and he didn't give him the shot, that's like one of the best things ever.
Oh, the picture of him staring down Jackson.
and then giving him the cold shoulder on, the handshake, and all the rest of that stuff.
Well, that right there makes me agree with Colin though. The immaturity. I mean, it's
not immaturity. I don't think it's immaturity. You're holding beef. You're allowed to do that. It's
You're an
it's
NFL
different
quarterback.
levels. It's different levels on that because I mean
he's also 21,
you shouldn't have to
22.
worry about your Lions. Don't worry about sheep. You're an NFL quarterback.
Yes.
Why the fuck do you care about what someone making?
you just don't walk over there. You just ignore him completely.
I don't
Because
know.
now he's a target. Now you don't think other coming up newscasters and analysts are going to
Listen,
be like, oh, let's take a shot at
here's
Baker.
the deal with me. As far as
You don't want to be a target for the Bengals because you already know they're going to skirt the lines of the law.
well, now Perfect is gone. Burfict went to the Raiders, didn't he?
Oh, that'll change his behaviors.
I'm just saying, like, the one guy on
How is he still in the league?
the one guy in the league who is arguably one of the cheapest players in the league
because he didn't hit a quarterback like that.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, he's with the Raiders now, which is ironic in of itself. But.
Oh God, there's so many Clemson football players that are drafted by the Raiders that I just want their contracts to be over so they can play real football. Because Gruden is stuck so far back
in the 1990s. He's
was
he's
already
a Charles Barkley, avoid analytics, avoid numbers kind of guy. Like, oh, that's not the way the sport's played. Yada yada yada.
But the thing that's worse is like Barkley finished his career still at a time where the way that he was successful playing basketball was still successful. When Gruden was done at Tampa Bay, football had already passed him by.
At that point, yeah.
At that point. And he hasn't gotten better. And you can still see similarities from what his brother's doing. And his brother's benefited from the fact that the NFC East has been so terribly inconsistent that the Eagles, who are probably the best team over the last 4 or 5 years, haven't been able to keep their quarterback healthy, whichever one that it is, and so they haven't been able to put several games together in a row. And Dallas, once they realized it's like, oh, we got a young guy who can do exactly the same for the old guy, they immediately got rid of the old guy. The young guy couldn't progress, and they started losing their offensive linemen, which is what they made them great, and stopped giving the ball to Ezekiel Elliott 20 to 25 times a game.
Who just got in trouble again.
Did he get in trouble again?
Yes.
Oh, was it EDC?
He shoves like a security guard at
EDC in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
And he shoved the security guard, and he's getting in trouble again.
And he's in the middle of extension talks.
And this is what gets me about the NFL. I don't really understand why the NFL is still so popular. I don't get it, other than gambling.
Scarcity. It shows up the one time a week. It's the guaranteed sport on Sunday. You wake up and you have lots of
NBA basketball
event.
is so much more entertaining. I love watching basketball so much more than football.
But the problem is, NBA regular season means nothing. Where the
as
NFL
long as the
regular
Warriors,
season
as long as
means-
the Warriors had Durant, it means nothing.
Well, no,
so.
the NBA regular season doesn't mean anything at all because more or less beginning of the season, you know the top 20 best teams, and you can pick 16 out of that, and you'll probably get 14 or 15 of the playoff teams no matter what.
Yeah, but no one expected the Clippers to make the playoffs like they did this year.
Well,
Especially after trying to trade away all the players and not make the playoffs.
Again, that was the 14th
Yeah, I know,
or 50th
I know.
thing. But even with that,
and then the
it's-
Hornets shockingly almost making the playoffs because they finally started playing all the young guys.
I mean, the biggest story of the entire year going into the end was the Clippers and Sacramento competing in the West, and the Clippers actually making, again, as they said, okay, we're done, and then they got better, which actually was the best situation of all around. They trade their pseudo best player Tobias Harris, they get some pieces back. Then they said, okay, we're going to tank. And then all of a sudden the Lakers call them up, hey, do you want this center for like one of your contracts? And you're like, yes, we do. And then they make the playoffs.
Who made all-rookie team? It was Bagley,
It was the top 5 picks.
It was top 5 picks?
It was the
top
first-
5 picks made it?
It was
Young, Bagley,
it was Trae
Luka.
Young, Luka at the 2, Bagley at the 3, Ayton at the 5. I forget who was the 4.
Bamba?
No.
Ayton was the first pick.
The guy from Memphis, Jaren Jackson.
And Jaren
Jaren
Jackson,
Jackson made
It was
it?
the fourth pick.
Yep.
It was the top 5. It's the first time since the 84-85 draft that
Where
the
the
top
top 5 actually made
And
it.
do you know who the 84-85 draft was?
That was the Jordan
85.
draft.
Hakeem Olajuwon, Sam Bowie, Michael Jordan. I can't remember the other guy, and then Charles Barkley was the 5th guy.
Yeah.
So it's like there's 4 Hall of Famers in like Sam Bowie.
Well, Luka is definitely... I love Luka.
Yeah, him and big guy. Wow.
Porzingis,
Oh my God.
who just got beat up in Latvia.
Yeah, who...
Why? I mean, again,
You don't see what happened. It looked like someone probably just threw something at him.
It's. I mean, it's easy for us to like look and it's like protect your money because we don't have that type of money. In
Where did the Mavericks... They're picking, what, 7? Because the way that...
No, Chicago is, remember? We just
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chicago 7.
So
like
the Mavericks
8
are
or
drafting
9.
6, right?
8 or 9.
Because the way... I
No,
remember-
Phoenix is 6.
I just remember watching that the draft lottery, and I'm thinking to myself, "Oh my god, the NBA is rigging this shit all over again." Because you saw the Suns, the Suns were at what? The Suns were picking at 6 or some shit like that. And they should have been in the top 3.
5 or 6.
Yeah, like when you started seeing all these teams, like the Mavericks, and everyone in the crowd's like, "Wait, what the fuck is happening?"
Oh no, Cleveland. The
Cleveland is into 6, right?
5, and then I think Cleveland and Phoenix are 5 and 6. Whichever one is whichever one.
I'm trying to pull up right now. It's funny, some of the things you Google that you think would pop right up that don't pop right up. This is definitely one of them.
2019 draft order.
Yeah. Actually, no, I picked Dallas Mavericks.
Because the 3
draft
teams with the
picks.
worst
Okay,
record,
New Orleans,
the 3 teams with
Memphis,
the
New
records were picking 3, 5,
what?
6.
All right, so
Air.
New Orleans was the 1, Memphis was the 2, New York Knicks was the 3, Lakers was the 4. So the Lakers shouldn't have been in the 4 at all. They
No,
should have been
that's
like,
what- no. As soon as I saw like the Hornets pop up or something, it's like, oh, the Lakers are in the top 5.
yeah, no, the Hornets were They were at 12. So, no, the moment you saw, I think it was Chicago and Phoenix have 6 and 7 and 6, I think.
No, because the Lakers were like a 2% chance. So it was like the team right after the Hornets, like the 11th team.
Minnesota and
yes,
Atlanta.
like as soon as you see Minnesota, you're like, the Lakers are top 5.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. But then you have, then again, the NBA is never going to give Cleveland a number one pick
the three worst teams with the 15 losses, Cleveland, Phoenix, and Knicks, ended up picking 3, 5, 6.
Yeah, 3, 5, 6. So it's a pretty. I mean, everyone's saying this is a pretty top-heavy draft as far as like talent's concerned, but there's a lot of.
They're saying it's a 3-player draft.
Well, everybody's also saying it's like this is going to prevent people from tanking. It's like no, it won't. Everybody's going to want that 15% chance.
Yeah, but then again, next year's draft is actually not that loaded. From what I understand,
it doesn't matter if there's one player, then everybody's going to try and stink it up for that one guy.
There is like no like consensus like Zion or like RJ Barrett was actually considered the number one.
Zion was number. They were
number
saying
2.
pick 2 coming out.
And then RJ was going to be the number 1.
Because Ja Morant worked his way up during the season.
Yeah, he worked himself up to being that.
Again, this is if I'm New Orleans. I'm looking to get picks. Like if I can get 2 players out of this draft, because next year, I mean, you're going to be in the lottery next year again anyway. But you're not going to be the players. The depth is not going to be nearly as good. You're not going into the playoffs
in the
West.
Western Conference with Zion Williamson. No.
With your best
and
players,
maybe Barrett.
No, just think Barrett.
Were Holiday and Randall your best players? No, you're
Randall, Zion, Barrett. I mean,
you're at best you're Sacramento this year, which would be a great jump for them.
And then everyone forgets how good Marvin Bagley actually had a good season this year. And he was picked 2 last year or 3?
He was
second pick.
Second pick.
They also didn't start playing him like really really big minutes till later
until later in the year because they realized what they had.
Well, no, they did. They were just let's not be too good yet because we're not. Our plan is not to make the playoffs. And they're like, oh wait, maybe we have a chance.
Yeah. Well, kind of like we talked about last week as well, is these younger guys just getting in there before they're ready, and you get to a point when you're losing so many games or your record's so bad where it's like, well, hell, we got to see what we got at some point, and like you were saying, they didn't know that they were in playoff contention. I definitely think they have a chance next year to be a fun team. I mean, they were running gun with some teams out there this year. They were a fun team to watch. I remember one game watching them against Portland, and it was like 130, 128. There's like 3 minutes left in the fourth. Like, it wasn't the finals. Like,
they have the highest rate for their offensive.
Oh man, their tempo. That was a fun team to watch, and they weren't out until probably what?
About 10 days to go.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
they
5-6 games.
Yeah, something like that.
So no, I mean they're definitely a fun team, but that's someone was saying the other day on the radio that
Luke Walton just got that job, right?
Yes. Oh, it's a great place for him because with those guards and what they're running speed wise, and he's going to just continue in with the Golden State situation.
Much more shooting.
Yeah. Oh no, Sacramento. It's once the rumors happened with. Like it was really kicking in that Los Angeles was looking for other coaches. They dropped their coach immediately, and they were just like, "Okay, once he's cut free, we're gonna like rush him." I mean, it was like a Beatles concert the way that they rushed him as soon as he walked out the building. He didn't. I don't even think it was 24 hours.
No, he left the building and got hired by the time he got in his car.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the agent. It's like he called his agent. It's like, "Hey, I've been fired. I got a job for you." What?
That's a fun team, though.
Oh, and he's a great coach for them.
What did Harrison Barnes do for them? Probably nothing.
Well, he filled in. He filled in the exact same role that he did for Golden State. Then.
I mean, they have a lot of young talent. I also forgot
he was much more successful there than Dallas.
I forgot they drafted Harry Giles, like in the 20s range when he was actually
the year before. Yeah,
the year before he was projected to be the number 1 pick before he got injured.
Yeah, he got hurt a lot. And if De'Aaron Fox keeps getting better, he just looks great.
De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, a great shooter.
Fox is going to be an all-star.
And Hield's fit into his role so much better because Fox gets him the ball wide open shots.
And Cully Stein's a great center to run with.
Well, he's a good defender for them.
And Frank Mason's pretty good.
No, I mean that's
Bogdanovich is good.
That's the coach that they got will accentuate the talents that they have and that they showed. Well, that's going to be the thing that's going to, and again, great players, particularly when they're playing, shouldn't have the say over who their coaches are because they're too myopic of seeing what makes a good team. But that Sacramento team, if the Lakers don't sign 2 really good people and a lot of really strong veteran leaderships, that Sacramento is going to be exceptionally better than them.
I agree.
And
completely.
Walton's going to be looking like 20 games back in the win-loss column back at them.
They can definitely compete for that 8th spot in the West. I think they might be. I mean, the West is so deep. I mean, Utah could have been the 3rd seed. They just had a bad start and they couldn't come back from that. I mean, that's if things break right schedule-wise, they could be 4 or 5-ish.
depending on what
the
happens.
Thunder had a collapse, so they went from like 3 to 7.
Yeah,
Yeah, really quick. That happened in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, if you have a stretch where you win 40% of your games over like a 15-16 game period in the West, you go from like 3rd to 8th.
And I mean,
Doesn't the Rockets started like 4-12?
Yeah, and they had a shot, I think, with 4 games to go to get the number 1 seed. I mean, they needed to beat Golden State and Denver and like another game, and they could have been the number. They had an outside chance of the number 1 seed, and they just boom, and then dropped back down to 4th. They ended up, because of them and Golden State.
I'm just saying the influx of talent that's coming into the NBA these days is insane. There's a lot of good players.
But the Sacramento, the West. I mean,
because no one expected Trae Young to do what he did in Atlanta.
I mean, that's the
Atlanta's kind of like the Sacramento of the East right now, in the position that they are with the players that they have.
Well, they have a lot of draft
win
picks.
Some games though. Atlanta didn't win. I mean, Sacramento was there with the win total. I mean, Atlanta was fun. And
no, I think the potential to be kind of like a Sacramento this coming season. I'm not talking about like
because they got Collins. Who's the other guy up in the front court?
They have Collins. They have Trae Young, and then they have
there's another guy in the front court or something. Bazemore's there.
You're talking about the guy with the dreads?
I think so, yeah.
The real dark-skinned guy. Played at Oregon. I forget his last name.
Oh, yeah.
He was the guy that had that brilliant response. Like, how do you get out-rebounded by the other team? And he goes, well, the ball goes up. And
yes.
Go and get it.
No, he was fantastic, though, because his
show
art was so good. See, that's the other guy. So, because he's got a lot of bounce.
Torian Prince.
Because they've got like 3 guys that they can start about. They're just going front court back, and Sacramento's got their wing guys, and they're going forward.
Where's Atlanta drafting?
They're 8-9. I mean, they're in position for a good place. It's just that
they should go after Bol.
No, they don't need him with Prince and Collins up front.
Yeah, but someone running with. I
think they got Dwayne Dedmon at center right now. I take Bol.
I think Bol.
Yeah, because
they're drafting 8. I think Bol. That's what I want us to draft.
Nobody's looking. I think nobody's looking for him higher than 10 just because of the issues.
Now that it's been a week since you and I talked about.
Well, Jackson from Texas. I mean, that's center. He that might be a possibility.
The last big guy that slid because of injuries was Joel Embiid.
No, I know. Well, he slid to 3rd.
Still, yeah.
And that was Wiggins and who was second? Was that who was second to that? Was that one of the other Kentucky guys during that time? But Wiggins and Embiid were 1-3 that year.
I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of his name right now.
Or was it the Lakers choosing one of their guards when they had the second pick for like 4 years?
D'Angelo Russell?
Russell. It might have been Russell.
I think that was the Russell year.
When the last time the Lakers haven't been top 6 in the picks? I mean,
last time Kobe made the playoffs with them, maybe? How long ago was that?
Yeah, see, the mock draft I'm looking at right now has DeAndre Hunter going to. I mean, we already know what the first 3 is going to be, so we'll just start at the Lakers. They have Hunter from Virginia going to 4, Culver to Cleveland, Garland to the Suns, which would be a good fit for him.
It's okay. So they're just saying Knicks are with Barrett.
Yeah. So, I mean,
there's a chance that Barrett goes too.
Not to the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies.
Well,
they can move on. They can finally move on from that awful contract they gave to
Conley.
Yeah, well, it doesn't. Conley. It's not as bad now because Gasol's not there. But the issue is that they're definitely looking for a trade partner with Conley.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they can find that, then it's definitely Murat. But if not, then it could be Barrett. Just because
Kobe White to the Bulls. Cam Reddish to the Hawks.
Kobe White to the Bulls is all dependent on that Lonzo thing.
Well, if I can get Kobe White in Chicago, I don't know if I want Lonzo. Kobe White's pretty good.
No, I think he's terrifically good.
He played himself into a position where he could actually.
Towards the end of the
really
year,
well. I hated watching him play when we were playing him this year.
Me too. It was frustrating.
It was very frustrating. He's actually pretty good. I mean,
if he drove to the basket on that last possession,
Cam Reddish to the Hawks. I know
shooting.
How is he going top 10?
How is he going top 10?
Because that's what the Hawks don't have. Not that he showed that he was a good outside shooter.
He was
someone to put up bricks.
So awful this year for Duke, and he's one of the reasons.
How are you not efficient with Zion and Barrett taking all the attention?
Exactly.
For some reason, he was rushing his shots
and not hitting any of his wide open shots that he had. He had wide open shots.
But that's a player that fits that team. That's why.
Jackson Hayes from Texas to the Wizards.
It doesn't matter. The Wizards can't do anything.
I might be.
That is
the Wizards are.
That's a bad contract.
The top 2 are John Wall and Chris Paul, are the worst contracts in the NBA right now.
They're both supermax deals. They're $40 million. Chris Paul's is bad because he's 34, 35.
He's 36. I thought.
36, and
no, I think he's 34, 35.
If he was healthy, and they beat Golden State last year, contract's worth it.
Here's
the
kid. Here's the kid who I want the Hornets actually to draft if we don't get Bol. It's the kid from Guinea, or he plays he plays professional basketball in France. His name's Sekou Doumbouya, I do believe.
Oh, that's the guy that they were talking about.
He's 6'9" with an 8'11" reach.
From the guy who's been playing EuroLeague for the last
he's been
couple
playing
years.
in France. They have him going to Atlanta. That would piss me off. And then we have Nasir Little going to the Timberwolves. And then once again, this is the second time I've seen this now.
That's all potential. That's all that.
Well, Nasir Little, I mean, he's got a lot of potential. He was a top 5 recruit last year.
Oh no, I mean he's got all the skills.
But here's the deal, and here's the guy that I keep seeing us taking is PJ Washington from Kentucky.
I don't.
And then you have your Heat taking Kevin Porter.
Bad contracts, man. Yeah, Chris Paul's up there, but look at some of these. Chandler Parsons, y'all remember him? I don't either.
Yeah.
He's still eating some money.
Played against him.
Oh yeah, no big deal. $94 million over 4 years.
Well, he was one of the guys that benefited of just being a free agent at the right year.
Tyler Johnson going to the Heat for what?
When the salary
John Wall is the
when the salary cap went up there and just ballooned because of the new NBA TV deal that came in.
That's when everyone got the ridiculous contract. Mozgov got a huge deal.
Hayward 4 year, $127 million.
If he comes back okay, we'll see. I mean, Paul George showed us that's a 2-year recovery for that kind of injury.
Noah,
who are you talking about?
He said Gordon Hayward 4 years, 132.
But if Kyrie is gone and Hayward bounces back close to where he was after the second year, then that deal
Celtics
works.
team's fine, and then Tatum will bounce back, and then
Rozier
bounces back,
Jaylen
Brown bounces back.
You can't start all three of those guys. Jaylen Brown come off the bench.
Well, no, Hayward chose to come off the bench, and
I think Hayward. I mean, granted, the deal he's currently making, him
but I mean,
coming off
Jaylen
the bench
Brown's
is
not
ridiculous.
at the start.
I guess you can start him at 2, 3, and 4, but do you want Marcus Smart's defense on the court?
Well, Marcus Smart is, and he understands. He doesn't start the game; he finishes the games. And at that point, between the three of them, whoever's having the two that are having the best game, they stay on, and Marcus Smart's on the court with them.
Yeah, he's right.
And see, that's the problem with Kyrie and why he doesn't fit in is because he wants to be in regardless of the situation. He feels I'm a superstar, I'm a top player in the world. Even if I'm doing bad, let me play through it. But they have the players to be like, hey, we need you to sit because that's what we put in defense.
That was the worst 4-game stretch maybe by a superstar in playoff history.
Oh, yeah, it was terrible.
He
was trying to do it all. He was trying to
awful.
make a point. He was trying to prove, hey, I got this.
I
And
can
he
do it.
did.
I can do it. I can
Yeah.
do it. I don't need LeBron.
It was garbage.
And he got worse each game.
He did progressively. I think he shot like 22%.
8 of 22.
30% from the field, 15% from 3.
I will say that before these playoffs, even without LeBron, though, he's had his clutch moments. I mean, they weren't in this year's playoffs, but there's been time after time in the regular season where they're down 12, they're down 15.
I was about to say, because before LeBron, he was never in the playoffs.
Well, no, I meant you
but
can still be clutch in the regular season. When
you can be. Nobody remembers it.
I agree, but the playoffs. You guys are the ones who say championships don't matter. I think we started off.
It's hard to be clutch going for your 20th win in May.
Well, one of the things that you
can still miss shots in the regular season that are big shots.
But this is one of the
delusional Cleveland fans.
Games.
But weren't you the one that was talking about? Do you pay Cousins? Do you keep him on the team? It's like Kyrie is that type of guy. Kyrie and Cousins are the players that frustrate fans and fantasy players all the things. Like, look at all these numbers, look at all these things they do, but they don't ever seem to mesh with better,
where they are.
It doesn't even matter where they are. They just don't seem to mesh with other great players.
What other great players? They were in Sacramento and Cleveland.
Well, but I mean,
LeBron when Kyrie and LeBron played well together and they were healthy, they beat the Warriors.
And there was that
73 win Warriors.
3/4 season with New Orleans with Cousins. Well, half season with Cousins and
they
Anthony
were
Davis.
a fun team to watch.
But the Pels were much better once Cousins got hurt, and they actually won the first playoff round the previous year.
They swept Portland.
Yeah, and I mean they buzzed through players, and they were like that was a team that Anthony Davis looked like the guy that everybody thought he was always going to be all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the deal: where does Kemba go?
Kemba, I think, like I said before, it's like Kyrie is gone, Durant is gone, and everybody
Kemba's got options. Kind of because
he's about to get wined and
go to
dined
LA
until free agency's over.
Kemba literally
could
actually
interesting if Kyrie goes to New York. Does the Lakers throw the money for
that? Would
for
be
Kemba?
my option B. Would be Kemba Walker if I'm the Lakers. If you don't get Kyrie, which you're probably not. Get Kemba Walker, and then if you can trade for Anthony Davis.
See, that's the thing. I don't hate.
Or maybe you sign a discounted DeMarcus Cousins. Now you're looking at a Lakers starting 5 with Kemba Walker, maybe Josh Hart, Kyle Kuzma, LeBron James, and DeMarcus Cousins.
Did we watch the same DeMarcus Cousins this year? What did he do? How many
It doesn't
games
matter.
did
I don't
play?
know that
He was the 4th option.
But they didn't need.
I don't think he goes to the Lakers. I think he'd rather stay with Golden State than go.
He
to the
wasn't
Lakers.
healthy. Is why
If
he
he's
didn't
not
play.
signing a big contract, I think he stays with Golden State.
We'll see what happens, but I mean, and everyone I always trash Kemba as a Hornets fan, but I also think that Kemba should never be the number one option on any team at any given time.
No,
He's forced to play the way he is. So
I agree with that.
Minutes.
Yeah, I know, and I'm just saying, like, I always been like, you can never win a championship with an undersized one guard like that. You never can. You never can. You never
Well,
can.
the NBA made sure of that once they allowed Tyrone Lue to wear Allen Iverson's jersey.
Exactly.
Because the Sixers were going to win.
No NBA team has won a title with the best player being under 6'6" since the Pistons in '89 and '90.
So I'm just saying, like, you're not going to.
You could argue the Warriors did with Curry, but I mean, he was the best player, but everyone was hurt on Cleveland that year.
Who was the best player on that Pistons team when they won in the 2000s?
See, I
guess
mean,
Rasheed?
best player, I would say Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, so, okay.
Sheed was definitely the best player on that team. I was saying, like,
I mean, he's of a basketball.
I want to
player,
see Kemba go to a winner, and he already said going into the offseason, I want to play for a winner. And sorry, guys, the Hornets are not a winner, no matter what they do.
Oh.
They're not going to get a superstar. Their cap situation's a wreck. They can't. I mean,
they'll have $45 million roll off the cap at the end of next season.
That's why the moment I saw that Zion's like, hey, I might stay at Duke, I'm like,
He can't.
I know. Well, no, he hasn't signed an agent yet. He hasn't signed an agent.
But
hasn't.
it's the NCAA is the one that's part of it.
I'm just saying, I would love just saying
Let
a perfect
him dream.
Let me dream of the idea
Let
of
him
Zion.
live.
Let me dream of the idea of Zion coming to the Hornets because he decides to stay at Duke because he doesn't want to play for the Pelicans.
But the thing
okay,
is,
that would be incredible. And then we finally let Kemba go. We finally tank, and we finally have the superstar that we deserve. Local boy, technically.
Would Jordan take him?
No, Jordan will find a way to fuck that up, wouldn't he? He'd be like, "Oh, I'm not going to
Take the
he did
water
go to
boy of
Duke.
North Carolina State, you please.
Oh my God, a guy can dream. Okay,
If
that's
Jordan
all?
had the first pick in the draft this year, it'd be Kobe White.
It would be, or not so Little. He'd take Little. If Little is there at 12, he takes Little because he's a Carolina boy with potential, and I would hate it, and I would officially quit being a Hornets fan. I would just jump on the next wagon wherever Zion goes.
You are that high on him.
I'm so high on Zion.
You really
When I watched Zion play in person. That's when it sold me seeing him play in person.
I don't know if he can do 20 and 10 as a rookie.
I
don't think he can either. But
Who's
it
the
doesn't.
last guy to do that? Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin,
And he was a fake rookie.
Yeah, that was
Ben
his
Simmons
second
rookie.
year.
yeah, but at the same
Red
time,
shirt.
Zion is just as, if not more athletic than Blake, and just as tall.
But he's carrying more weight.
He's just as what?
Blake Griffin's what? 6'10"?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blake Griffin's a real height.
Zion's
Zion is a
probably like
faux
6'6".
height. Yeah,
He is so hot. No,
Zion's a Barkley 6'4".
I mean, Zion's going to get a lot of dunks, but he's not going to dunk on people like rookie Blake Griffin did.
He's going to have to beat. No, most of his dunks are beating people on the break, which he will be able to do.
Yeah. Blake Griffin murdered people.
I remember that. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. I think he averages 20 and 10.
Does nobody remember the gas face look that
DeAndre.
Jordan? Yeah.
Oh, I forgot.
when he dunked
Brandon
on
Knight.
The Brandon Knight.
No, it was when he dunked on Brandon Knight, who I played with in AAU basketball. Yeah.
But he did
Name drop.
Blake did back-to-back though against the Lakers though, and then it's like,
He got powed twice.
Yeah.
I thought the best one is
A consecutive
he
play.
had two in the same Knicks game, one on Mozgov and another one where he spun off somebody, and it was ridiculous.
Someone trying to tell me that Blake Griffin was mediocre. I'm like,
What idiot said that?
just go look for the Zion Williamson Facebook post.
Is it Andrew?
One of those guys.
Oh.
The same people that I always
same-
comment on
it's
the same trolls on my Facebook every week.
Blake Griffin's a 5-time All-Star who came in the league as a high-flying dunker, and now he shoots 6 threes a game and shoots a high percentage.
He's adapted his game.
Exactly.
In what way was Blake Griffin ever a bad player?
He was never a bad player.
He almost dragged this
He's
Pistons team
injury
to the playoffs.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, you're comparing him to what I was saying. I'm like, dude, just look what Blake Griffin did when he came into the league as an athletic big. I mean, I'll try to put the comparison. Like, who was the last? Someone asked who was the last player to average 20 and 10 in a rookie year.
Being 6'10", 6'11".
Yeah,
helped
but that's
those
the thing
sports.
is like Zion is not an athletic big.
He's gonna be on the perimeter.
He's a big wing that's athletic.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, if Draymond can play the 4, so can he.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that he can't do it, but it's a different situation.
I
It's a
still
different
think,
league he's
I
coming
think
into.
given his size, strength, and his ability to hop,
How many boards did he average at Duke this year?
Like 8?
8 or 9.
Longer game, but I mean, we'll see.
But the thing is I don't think he'll do the 2010, but it doesn't matter. If you're the number one team, you pick him because you were in the room. When that team comes out in the room, there's an electricity with the fans. It's like, I got to watch
They
him.
love him.
Well, it's not even Duke fans. It's everybody in the building.
Everybody. And I was trying to, I got into an argument on Facebook about how I said, if he lives even close to the hype, he'll be the face of the league for the next 15 years. clearly because of his social media presence, his electricity, his ability to dunk.
He's
got a package to be the face.
If he does what the failure, as I air quote this, that Blake Griffin was stats wise, he's the face of the league.
Right there with Kia.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's the face of the league. I mean,
said he's going to average 20-10, and he's going to win the dunk contest next year.
Oh, he'll
become
win
the face.
It'll be
He won't
hard
enter
for
the dunk contest.
You don't think he enters?
He won't enter.
I don't think he will.
No chance. When's the last big star who's entered? I mean, they
Blake
just
Griffin.
They all enter as
how long
rookies.
ago?
They always enter as rookies. As rookies, they do
Zion's,
it.
But Zion's
Zion.
Zion will
Zion
do the
is
dunk contest. He's
different.
going to break the LeBron curse.
Donovan Mitchell was in the running for Rookie of the Year. He entered it.
No, the rookies they do it because they got it. They need to go ahead and get so they won't be asked it for the rest of their careers.
Yeah.
He'll
LeBron
win
didn't have to do it.
Popularity. They
And
need to gain.
well, it's particularly with all the
good for your brand.
sponsors. It's for all the sponsors. It's very good to get that sponsorship out of the way because if you win that, they're going to throw all the money.
He's going to get some ridiculous $500 million shoe deal right off the bat.
$100 million.
I don't think he
I'm
needs
not-
that.
I-
He
I
needs
just-
the
I was
branding. He
being-
has more to lose than gain. If he goes in there and does anything other than win, it's a fail.
He's but there's
Okay,
no
but
way
I mean,
he
he had
win.
more to lose than gain to come back and play college basketball after he got hurt. He still did it.
Yeah, he averaged
He's a competitor.
he is a competitor. He averaged 23 and 9.
Coach
People-
K and NBA
great.
agents who, once you start making that money, it's a different.
People
you got
don't
more
watch
people in
regular
your
season
ear.
basketball like they watch that dunk contest.
He'll be in the dunk contest. He'll win Rookie of the Year, averaging
I did
20
not
and
watch
10,
the
and he's going to win the dunk
this year.
contest.
Did not watch it this year.
This past year, I didn't watch it,
Didn't watch it.
but they had no names. What happens if Zion enters that dunk contest?
People
Are you going to
watch
watch
it.
it?
Everybody
You're
watch
going
it.
to fucking
Absolutely,
watch it.
absolutely.
Exactly. And if the dunk contest hasn't really been good since the battle between Aaron
and
Gordon and
Gordon.
Levine.
That was only 4 years ago.
Oh my god, those two
3
best,
years ago. It was
Well, that much
2016.
talent.
best
Wait
dunk
4
contest
years.
of all
It
time.
was incredible.
Oh my god.
Well, it's the best dunk contest since the
Levine had
Dominique robbery when
Yeah.
Jordan won.
Well, Levine had a great one the year before. This was the second time Levine won it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
Levine was hurt when we entered 2 years ago. And he was
Yeah.
hurt, and he still had tried to dunk, and he didn't make it out of the first round. But I mean, everyone kind of forgets about those dunk contests. And Aaron Gordon,
Might have won.
he should have won.
I think what takes away from it, obviously you can't perfect it, but now they get 2 minutes. Like okay, so you might miss 15 times
Well, no,
before you make
here's-
it. and
here's
that's-
But hold on.
That's the Nate Robinson.
But here's the
Yeah.
deal with the dunk contest is they change the format every fucking year. It doesn't
Yeah,
really matter.
exactly.
You get Zion in, you're going to be watching it, and I'm just saying. At first, I didn't think.
All he has to do is run down the court, jump, and do something. Everybody's like, "That's the biggest freaking dude I've seen do something like that."
Ever watching him dunk and go ahead.
Breaking news: Juwan Howard signs 5-year deal to coach Michigan.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Beeline went to
The Cavs.
Cavs.
And they made JB Bickerstaff his associate head coach.
Really?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Beeline's actually a really good.
I
That's a
thought
really
He's
good.
that's
way
why
older
we-
than I thought.
I thought
Oh,
that's
yeah,
why
no,
we
he's
got
old.
it.
He's like what 72?
63.
Oh, I thought he was
No,
in
he
the
was
70s.
he was like 50 when he finally left West Virginia for the Michigan job.
Love taking the Michigan guy.
That was a good. I think that was a good hire for the Cavs.
Could be.
What he did for Michigan basketball. I mean,
Well, I mean, as young as they are, they doesn't have to
And
worry
where
about
do we
a lot
have
of
to
things.
go right now? I mean, there's nowhere else to go. We can't get any worse.
And
Like,
Michigan's style of basketball fits with where the NBA
what the NBA is doing right now,
Yeah.
so it actually works. It's
you
actually a
guys
college
should
guy.
finish or play defense.
It's a college guy that could actually translate well into the NBA. I don't think Donovan or Billy Donovan. I mean, he was the last big.
Well,
What,
he's doing a really good job because of Brad Stevens. He's doing a
Brad-
really good
well,
job because of managing personnel.
I don't count Brad Stevens in that.
It was hysterically funny to me every time Kobe said it's like, oh, if we could get Krzyzewski to come to the Lakers, it's one, Krzyzewski's never leaving Duke. 2, you would fucking hate him
playing
being
for
your
K.
coach.
Yes, he would.
He would ask you to do these things, and you would openly like go
I
no,
think-
and nobody
I think
else on the team.
LeBron
would.
loved playing for K
Well, of course he did
Well,
on the
brief-
Olympic team.
on the Olympic team. Yeah,
on
exactly.
a small scale. I mean, not an 82-game season.
But, I mean, Krzyzewski was just like, here's what we're going to do, and I'll rotate guys in. You just let me know if you don't want to play more or less. He didn't do anything hard.
Nothing.
Especially in 2008 when you
Who
had
needs
like
water?
you had Kobe Bryant and Jason Kidd on that team. It's like, all right, go figure it out, guys.
Yeah, and
Go have fun.
them handling everything, and then basically it was the same team for 12 and 16. They were just kind of carried through.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Go and give me the lines for Game 1 of the NHL Stanley Cup, please. Finals and Game 1. I'm
Yes.
sure the line's already out.
Yes, it is. Game 1 is. That's what I was reiterating what you're saying. Bruins -160. St. Louis Blues +140.
I'm taking Bruins.
Is there a total goals over under?
5.5. Juice to the under.
I'm going over. I think Boston just can't be stopped.
I think Boston wins that game, and the final score of that game is probably 5-1.
4-2. 4-2 gets me the 6 goals, right? I'm looking at that.
Yeah, over Boston.
I would pass this game so hard. I think the rest comes into play. I'll take the Bruins first period money line. No, but if I
wait. Okay, so
You can't just do that. First period money line. Fuck off.
No, wait, because Boston swept Carolina and the Blues just came.
Ooh, actually, you're kind of right. Never mind. They're coming off a really long break.
You know what? If I had to pick it, I would actually go to the total here because I don't want to touch this game at all.
No, I think that's right. But since
I would touch game, I would touch game 2. I wouldn't want to touch this game. Maybe over under
5.5. I'd go under 5.5. And even then, zero confidence in that. You know, it may change tomorrow, but I probably won't even post a play on that game, honestly.
And then what's the line for game 5?
5 in Milwaukee.
Game 5. Let me confirm.
Oh wait, what did we say it was again? We already said that
7.
one.
Yeah.
It was 7. I think Raptors cover.
Yeah, you're taking Raptors. I'm going.
And what's the over/under on that game?
217. It's been very consistent within that 216, 218 range all game.
Yeah, the only one they went over was the double overtime.
I like the Bucks to cover here. I even like that number up to 8. It's right now -7. I like that up to 8. BJ, what do you think?
Who were we just talking about?
Bucks with their 7.
Bucks playoff game.
Bucks playoff game.
Game 5
Ooh,
in
with 7
Milwaukee.
Spread, 7 point spread. Right?
7 point spread. Yeah.
Oh man, I see the Bucks winning by like 10. So yeah, I got Bucks and Raptors don't cover.
I'm pretty sure I've only missed 2 games since we've been on here. I just want to throw that out there. By the way,
you have been doing well.
You've been very well.
I do want to. We teased it earlier.
It's only the reason you're here.
I teased it earlier.
You're the one who actually created this show without inadvertently created me doing an entire sports podcast about gambling and talking sports. So the people that are nerds can leave whenever they want because, well, we are nerds, but
we're nerds, different nerds.
We're different kind of nerd. I'm a well-rounded nerd as far as I'm concerned.
You're just well-rounded.
There you go.
I'm down 65 pounds. Thank you very much.
I'm fat too. I just hide it. I'm tall.
Yeah, it's bullshit. If I had your height, I would have been in the NBA or NFL. God. Anyways, guys.
Nobody in the NFL is my height. No. 0. 6'9".
Oh yeah, you're 6'9". Never mind.
Well, this escalated quickly. Here from Simon Says.
Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. Anyone want to plug their shit again?
At Cover704 on Twitter. Also,
have you created Instagram yet? Bro.
You said 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. It's so easy. You link your Facebook account and you're done.
Let's just make him one.
Well, you also make you one? Jesus.
We're not going to give him the login or anything. We're
Josh
just
Guns.
I have so many distractions on my phone already. But I teased it earlier. I do want to go ahead and give the first NFL pick of the year, Buffalo Bills +3 against the Jets.
Ooh.
There you go. Special. We don't even know the lineups yet.
Oh, God.
I just know it's going to be a bad game.
It's the Jets.
The game no one's going to want to watch anyways.
Oh, that's got to be Monday Night Football.
Before we sign off, John, it's looking like before we meet again, it's going to be Bucks Warriors. BJ, Jerry.
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot about that. What's going to be the bet between us? Because I got the Bucks winning, and he wants the Warriors. So what are we betting?
So we have the opportunity to
you
choose
guys
what the
get to
bet
make
is.
the bet.
What we bet.
But it's not money.
Not money. Oh, he just got the most twisted look on his face.
How hairy are your backs?
I'm not a very hairy guy.
I'm a fucking gorilla.
We got some back shaving coming on.
As you can see, I'm not a very hairy.
He's looking very tan, by the way. If you want to plug your tanning salon to let them get some free coops, maybe.
This is just me going to the pool.
Wait, John's beard versus Josh's back.
No, beard versus beard.
Beard versus beard.
Beard versus beard.
versus beard.
And you got to keep it for a month.
Wait. What are we doing?
The rest of June. Just the rest of June. The rest of June.
We have to. No. But we don't know when the series will end. No, we have to be the entire month of July. We have to have no beard.
A month from series end, but I don't know we're back.
No. It's like it starts.
Loser shaves their beard.
It starts what June? It'll
for
start
a whole month.
No,
month.
it starts at like May 30th. It's like next Thursday
14.
is May 30th.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
Yeah,
if it goes 7, it's 2 weeks.
Well, so you have 2 weeks. We're not gonna
like
ruin the
12
shame.
before I
I mean, you
had my
have
first
through
boner
the end of
before.
June. So whenever the
That
series
makes sense.
ends through the end of June,
And
you have to keep it shaved.
We're gonna shave the beard
Off goes
here.
Well, we can do it.
I think so.
We're gonna shave the beard for the people on
The podcast thing,
the podcast.
the live cast.
How are we doing this?
And
We
you,
have
and the winner,
Shake
the winner,
hands, they
the
shook
winner
hands.
gets a
the
shave?
winner shaves your beard.
Oh yes.
So you get to enjoy it.
Oh man! So you hear it first, guys. I am putting my beard up.
Beard versus beard.
Beard versus beard here. We both have actually wonderful beards, as we
Yeah,
can
I will
see.
say-
You guys do your best to come in as burly as possible.
Two
I'm
beards
not
come
trimming-
in.
I'm not
One beard goes out.
I'm not trimming my beard now for the rest of the.
There can be only one.
I'm not going to trim my beard.
Shout out to beard guys. If you want to show some love on this pod for the shaving, let us know.
Yeah. Hey
Any
guys,
shaving tips?
Shave Club, Dollar Shave Club, give us free stuff.
If y'all would like to sponsor us, we're now taking applications.
We can try
spots will be limited.
We can try and donate the hair, but no one's going to want it.
I'll donate my hair. Fine, I don't give a shit. I have a great beard, a lot of color. Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in to Simon Says Bet. Go ahead and do. Y'all threw me off with all this. Josh, any sign off for you?
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's two Joshes there. JB.
I think it's
BJ.
Bukaki Josh signing off, reminding all you fellas, stay dry.
I got nothing. I'm out.
Jerry, anything for you?
Beard versus beard.
Only one beard shall
beard.
stand. All right, guys, this is actually going to happen. Anyways,
The biggest fight since Game Bowl.
this is John Simon signing off.
John's going to look like the mountain when the helmet got knocked off.